Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Knowledge Relationships Toxic Tuesdays, home of the toxicity. This is your boy M3 with the sophisticated jerk.
What's good? What's good?
Nothing much, man. So, jerk, man, what we got going on, man? With all this hate and racism stuff that keeps us alive.
Yeah, so I don't know if everybody's seen that clip with the lady in Minnesota that was like cussing out the child. Because I think the kid came and, just being a kid, reached in the lady's bag, grabbed something. So the lady was like, calling the kid the N-word and stuff. So it triggered a lot of conversations, I say, out there. There was a lot of like lives about this and, everybody giving their perspectives. And, on Piers Morgan, he had a whole segment where he was about to break it down. He had some panelists on his show. And then, of course, there was like one racist girl. And then your boy Myron came and became the white savior and shit. So no, there was a lot of interesting topics and stuff. So yeah, I thought we need to kind of break down this clip because even Fatty, man, the other day he had a real good show, and there was this one guy that was on his panel, and Fatty had him on a couple shows before, but he was one of those kind of racist sympathizers and shit. So he was like kind of finna the lady saying the N-word. So, Fatty kind of went in on him. So, I was sending super chats like crazy. I was like, yeah, shout out to Fatty for holding it down. But, so I'm starting to see a lot of people, because I think the dude was Mexican. So, I think Myron, he's Sudanese. And it's like, man, they go and always like throwing shots at, I'll say black people, man. Because, I'm one not to play on the race shit anyways. Because, I just grew up around so many different type of people where it's just like, I feel you should just respect anybody. But, they got this weird thing of like, oh, everybody should have freedom of speech and I should be able to say what I want to. But, don't give me any repercussions of what I'm saying and stuff. Kind of like the dude that was on Fatty's channel. His whole shit was like, you guys are emotional, like if I say the N-word and you do something to me. So I was like, that's why I was saying, I was sending super chats. I was like, hey, man, he's trying to do this reverse psychology. Like, oh, you guys are the aggressors if I, offend you and say this word and you do something to me. I'm like, hell nah. Like,
right.
I'm like, man, you say that word around me. Yeah, but guess what? Say what you want to. I'm going to be emotional. You're going to get that work. So I see a lot of them. They're, it's like they want to talk tough, but they want to throw shots and offend people, but it's like, they want to put their hands up. Oh, don't do nothing to me. Let me just say what I want to. So you're going to kind of see it play out in the clip. Myron came up there, started, going in on the black race again. When the conversation wasn't even warranted. Because I think Piers was trying to get the conversation like, hey, man, what's the issue with this lady? And then it went to a whole like, well, most people are tired of black people. And I'm like, how the hell it go to that? You know what I'm saying? So we'll go ahead and play the clip. Of course, we're going to break it down because, I was kind of irritated with it. Because like I said, I typically do not touch race shit because I'm just like, man, I'm just not with it, man. I'm just like, respect me, respect you, do your thing. But this case, it irritated me because I'm like, man, first of all, that was a kid. You got a grown-ass adult calling somebody the N-word. The conversation should have just stopped. If you have some morality or you're a decent person, you just should shut it down and be like, that lady was in the wrong. That's how easy this conversation should have been. Because, that'd be like if I saw somebody say something like black people cussing out a white kid and calling them names. I'm running up on them. I'm like, that's a kid. You know what I'm saying? Any race, people. So I think, man, if you just had like some morals and some humanity in you, man, you would just stop that situation. Like, hey, man, why are you talking to this kid like that? So the fact that people can't do that, it's just kind of showing the hate and the craziness that's going out in society today. It's like, man, damn, is it that bad out here? Shit, where people are just that lost with like humanity.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was rambling, man, but yeah, it's crazy. It's weird seeing it.
No, you make sense though, right? I mean, and here's the thing. It's one thing like, okay, like, like you're around with a certain group of people, right? And you guys are having like your playful, like, stereotypical jokes or whatever. But when you guys do go too far with the hate speech, and then you just spurring out like a bunch of racial slurs at other folks that don't even really deserve to be called like these type of names. That's where I kind of draw the line. And to be honest with you, this is why I have to also make sure that I put this disclaimer up there, right?
Yeah, put that up because I'm going in.
Yeah, so please be advised that what we discuss is not political, clinical, financial, medical, nor legal and racial advice. This is for information and entertainment purposes only. Okay. Also, make sure you guys smash like the like button, family. Okay, share this video and subscribe. And also, please be advised that if we bring like these Negroes up here, because this is a predominantly Negro channel, no racially intended, but the guests, the panelists, or whatever, is not necessarily the viewpoints of knowledge and relationships. But I get what you're saying, man, and unfortunately, man, like I feel like, especially for these old heads, it's like racism is the only reason why they're still alive. Like sometimes love may keep you going, and other times hate may keep you going as well too. But in this channel, man, we don't promote hate. We just promote fairness, equality, and all jokes goes to equal opportunities. So,
facts.
With that being said, let's go ahead, man. We want to play this.
So this is real quick. This is the clip of the lady going off on a kid, and this is what kind of spurred the whole conversation. So yeah, on the subtitle, it says woman uses racist slur on playground after man accuses her of calling child the N-word. So yeah, this is what kicks it off. So it's a lot of bleeping in there.
Oh, so she called like the child, like a young child, the N-word.
Yeah. So she's going off just because, like I said, the kid must have went into her stuff and grabbed something, and she's just spiraling out of control. So
damn, she's like, these goddamn bleepers,
Oh yeah, you're gonna hear the bleep. So yeah, this is the clip. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it.
All right, for sure. Oops.
Did you call him the child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You took it down on that one.
Nobody digging to you.
A little kid just did, you
That little kid, you call him the little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chasing here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
That's a hate speech, and you can be the that.
I don't give.
Huh.
Damn.
Okay, we'll see about that. What the internet has to say about you. You call him
All right, that's the end of the clip. But I mean, you get the gist of it. It's just like, man, that's a sick person, man. If you see the clip. So like, everybody was trying to tie it to that whole, the two football players, the black kid and the white one.
Okay.
Because I think the one black kid that was in that, I don't know the names because I wasn't even following. I was just like, man, I seen so many covering that incident. I forgot the names of the individuals. So somebody knows it, type it in the chat. But he was raising money for his defense for the trial. So then I guess a bunch of people was sending her money, because she was like in this clip. So that, a bunch of adults turned this into a race issue. So they were like supporting her. I think she raised like something like 700,000. So I'm just like, how the hell, just based off a clip, somebody calling the kid some names, man, you gonna donate to that? You just got to be a sick individual. Like, you ain't had nothing better to do with your money. You got kids going to college, man. You could have funded a college fund with that. So you just donated to some hate. And so the next clip that we're going to show is on the Piers Morgan. They wanted to talk about that, but that's where, Myron brought his blame ass up there and started diverting the conversation. Well, people are burnt out. And I'm like, man, address the woman crazy ass with going off on a kid. Why are you turning the conversation? That, so it's weird, man. We'll get into it.
On a side note, somebody was telling me that he actually, Myron actually invited a woman to his own show.
He probably did, man. Because what I'm starting to see is like, man, I was watching the live yesterday. I think Saint in the Center and Cooley was kind of breaking down the same clip. Okay. And Saint in the Center had a good point. He was like, man, a lot of people that's like untalented and kind of losers, they're trying to play to this hate shit because it's marketable. because you know it's kind of the new market that's out here. So it's just like with Myron, what I'm starting to see he does, it's like he's always going there and giving pushback against black people at, you know, in any forum and stuff. And it's just like you said, if he's reaching out to the female to come to his panel, and it's just like, I understand he's trying to cash out. So you'll see a lot of people that look like us, have our skin tone, that want accepted so bad that, you know, they're going to go against like the community. And there's times where we need to address certain things, but not the way that they do it. And then like in a situation where somebody goes in on a kid, it's just like, man, there's no further discussion that's needed. You should have just addressed the fact that she was out of line, and that should have been it on the panel. I don't understand how it like spun into the whole other conversation. So yeah, we'll jump into it. It's at the 10:53 mark. That's where they kind of start having an actual conversation.
Okay, yeah. I got it. So let me go ahead and I want to switch this tab. Okay. All right, fair use. Oh. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to play this.
Here's the thing. White people have been under attack for years. It's been systematic racism. As much as black people and people of color want to talk about systematic...
Wait, I'm sorry. Who's this blonde chick?
Well, she's the one, I think a few years back, she was on video saying the N-word. So I think in this case, she's going to defend like the lady saying the N-word, you know, the whole freedom of speech shit.
Okay.
And she kind of goes off the hinges where she's like, Piers gives her some pushback. So you're going to see it play out in the clip, and Myron's kind of starts backing her up. So that's what I'm saying. It's just like, even in a bad scenario, dude is still trying to like, you know, take up for stuff that he shouldn't, you know, especially when he's around a lot of, I say black forums. Like, you say what's right and what's wrong. So ain't nobody saying that, but just to go above and beyond to try to, you know, twist conversations, it's just messed up. But yeah, but just let it play out. Cause like, yeah, she's kind of irrelevant to the conversation, but yeah, she just starts getting on some racism stuff. All
right, let's go.
Racism in the United States. It's quite the opposite. They get preferential treatment when it comes to getting a job, when it comes to getting into colleges. White people, on the other hand, have been getting attacked relentlessly. Look at 2016 and BLM and all the riots. We just had to sit back and watch people burn down our cities and do nothing about it. So the way to fight back against essentially this anti-white hatred that's been systemically, you know, ingrained in U.S. society is with white unity. We don't see white unity on
hang on. Okay, but hang on. Sorry, just to be clear, this has got nothing to do with anything you've just said. This is a disgusting racist woman who repeatedly spews the M-word, first at a young child, and then at the person taking the video of her, does it with complete impunity, does it numerous times. We are talking about a bona fide, unquestionable racist. So I don't understand why what you've just said to me bears any relation to white unity or anything that you've just said. She's just a racist. End, isn't she? You wouldn't dispute that.
It's not about her. It's not about her. It's about
well, it is about her
coming together and supporting another white person. And it doesn't matter.
Why would you want to support a white racist?
Because I want to support free speech, and you cannot have free speech in a country.
No, that's fine. You can support free speech, but you also have to be accountable for what you say.
Oh, go ahead, Jerk.
And that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I get it. Y'all want to cash out, but man, it was a kid. You know, that's what I don't get, man. It was like a little kid. So it's like, man, if you're that like detached from humanity and you're that evil to the point where you're talking about like unity and freedom of speech, man, like even if you think about it, man, like I grew up around a lot of, I say, criminal elements. Mm-hmm. So like in New York, it's very diverse. So you'll have like Italian neighborhoods, you'll have Russian neighborhoods. And man, you know, even they had like I say like a philosophy, man, no women and kids, stuff like that. So you mean to tell me like the people like involved with like organized crime and stuff, they have this understanding, but like you clowns on YouTube don't understand that. So that's what I'm saying, man. It just blew my mind when I seen this, because I'm just like, damn. So you're talking about some unity off of a Instagram clip of a chick, you know, cussing out a kid. It's like, man, so you got to be so detached and just out of your mind to the point where you're trying to like, shout out to Piers where he stopped it. He was like, what the fuck does this got to do with like that piece of shit in the clip? You know, why are you trying to spin this? Like,
yeah, man, it's always you know, as the old saying goes, right? I know I'm making shit up, but it's always be like the prettiest ones with the dumbest minds. You know what I mean?
But see, man, I think a lot of people understand, man, hate is profitable. So it's like, I think she's like kind of like the chicks that, you know, when the red pill started, they started swarming the red pill. Like, man, I'm gonna just regurgitate the same shit that they do, and I'm gonna cash out because I'm gonna be the pretty girl that's like saying red pill bullet points, where she's like, I'm gonna come out here and just defend hate, and I'm gonna cash out. I'm gonna get the money. Then, like I said, you'll get the minorities that jump in there, try to get the cash out. So I think that's where Myron falls in. So that's all this is, man. Because there's no way in hell you could be that dumb where, you know, you're gonna defend somebody, like I said, cussing out a kid. Because like I said, if I see somebody going in on a child, cussing them out, I don't give a fuck. Are you black, Puerto Rican, Asian, damn Martian? You know, I'm gonna stop you right there. Like, man, what the fuck you doing? You off your meds or something? You know, I ain't gonna be letting nobody go in on a little kid like that.
Yeah, no. And you have definitely like a good point. It's like the just party things type of people. Like, instead of like using a platform, right, to actually bring some common sense into society, you want to like kind of like use some of these like red pill talking points. Then you want to twist like freedom of speech to your freedom to hate on other folks. And then you want to play the victim as if like this whole matriarchal system is like just attacking you. You know what I mean? And you're acting like you have no clue why people dislike you. You have no clue why a lot of people want to challenge like these foolish talking points. And for some people, I think a lot of them are really delusional. But again, going back to it, the fact that it's like we're having a discussion because you got some old ass like, you know, folks that still want to defend racism against a racist white woman against like, you know, calling a child an N-word. That shows you how far like detached like we are like in the society. And the fact that a lot of people, like hundreds of people or thousands, donated to that cause, that tells you something right there, man, how they feel. And
yeah, it's like, man, you could have find like a cause in your like town, city, man. You could have went to Boys and Girls Club, like the local soccer team, man, and put that money in that. You chose like hate. So that's why I just don't, man, I don't understand it. But, you know, I think the issue, man, we're so entitled and civilized now in, you know, United States, where it's like people are going out their way to be mad. Because like when she was making the points of, well, you know, people, the colleges, they're not getting into them, man. I just literally looked it up when I just heard her say that. There is 5,832 colleges and universities. So it's like, man, you might apply to like a Yale, you might not get in. But it's like, man, you can apply to another college. So you know how entitled and bratty you got to be like, oh my God, I didn't get into my college. Let me cry about it because some other minority or female got into this college. That's what I'm saying, man. We're so privileged to the point, man. We're finding shit to whine about. So the fact that she was like pointing out that stuff and trying to make that connection to this like situation just shows like you said, they're delusional, they're detached. Because somebody that's kind of mentally healthy, you're going to be like, man, okay, I didn't get into that college. Let me apply to like 3 other ones. And I'm going to get into one of them programs because, you know, I got a high enough grade. So it's like, they're so fixated on, I don't get what I want. And I'm going to make an excuse to, you know, start whining and making it a bigger issue, like a race issue and shit. And it's just like, man, most people are going through their day-to-day lives. You know, I work in a professional setting. Majority of the people are, it's pretty diverse. And man, nobody cares about this shit. The average person, man, they just trying to figure out, ways to uplift their family, put their kids through college. Man, ain't nobody worried about this shit except for, like I said, losers, man. Like, are people that's trying to market off of the hate and turn people at the divisiveness. They're trying to turn people against it to market it and stuff. So yeah.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we could jump back in because she's gonna start. She's gonna escalate it up, and Myron gonna come in with the cape.
Oh, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, he come in.
Hey, would you use the N-word out of interest?
Yes.
You would?
I do quite frequently.
You use the N-word quite frequently. Well, why? Other than the fact you're a despicable racist. Are you?
Some would say I am. I guess according to the ADL, I'm a white supremacist. I'm a neo-Nazi.
If you use the N-word repeatedly, you are a racist, then, are you?
Sure, I'll embrace that. If that means forwarding, helping white people achieve freedom of speech, real freedom of speech, which, by the way, Shiloh Hendricks is being attacked on all fronts. They're trying to bring legal charges against her. They're trying to get her children taken away. So you were saying Carmelo Anthony, it doesn't matter. That's a different.
Sorry, but just to be
thing.
clear, you just said to me you use the N-word regularly. In what context? Do you use it with black people?
Yes, if it's appropriate.
When would it be appropriate to use the N-word? When would it be appropriate?
Anytime I feel like it.
So you're an unashamed racist.
Correct.
Well, do you understand that makes you a despicable human being?
I guess so. I don't really care. Why are we not talking about Shiloh Hendricks? Why are we talking about?
Well, actually, I think you've moved it on in this debate very quickly to your own racism, which explains why you've supported her in public and why you've got all these views. You see no problem with a woman shrieking the N-word repeatedly because you yourself are a despicable racist, and you've just proudly admitted that with a smug grin on your face, which is pretty horrifying, actually, for most people to have to watch. And shame on you. You're entitled to do it, and I'm entitled to call you despicable.
Well, shame on white people for allowing themselves to be systematically discriminated against in the United States. This is our country. This is a country that should be.
What do you mean your country?
Because I'm white.
Fuck the Indians.
What, there are no black people in American history? Is that what you're saying? That they've all just landed in America, invading your white country? Is that your position?
Mm-hmm. Well, they were brought here technically.
My God, do you understand how dumb you sound?
This is stupid. This is stupid and racist. And at some point, we have to ask ourselves, do we want to reward this kind of disgusting behavior by platforming it?
I don't disagree, Mark. Listen, I didn't know she was going to say that. I don't disagree with you.
No. Yeah. I'm with you. I don't think you knew ahead of time. I'm saying at this moment, someone who's saying technically black people brought up. No, technically Africans were stolen, enslaved, and they built this country. And the idea
hit the pause
that you can justify
quick.
calling a baby.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Jerk. Who's the guy in the middle? Because I feel like I've seen him before.
I think his name is Lamont. I forgot his name, but yeah, he be on a lot of I say news channels and stuff. Damn, I can't think of his name. I have to look it up.
Yeah, because I know the face is definitely familiar, and then the other white girl who's in the red, who's quiet. Is she a bimbo too, or
no? She's like I ain't falling for that racist shit. She's like I'm gonna play my part. Shut up. You see her? She quiet over there. She like, look, I'm gonna rest in my femininity. I ain't fucking with this. And then Myron, he over there giggling and shit. So that's why I was like, man, something ain't right with homeboy, man. Like he's just itching to come in there and like I said, man, because he was like fidgeting and shit. So I was like, man, what's he doing? At first I thought he was gonna he about to cook that girl for going in, but he was unfolding that cape out the box. So yeah, man, you can keep playing, but yeah, the one girl that's like, I was saying the N-word and all that, just a terrible person, man.
She really don't even have much to really say, and I could just tell by the look of her crazy eyes and just her response, She really don't even have no strong reason or comeback. She just want to some people just want to talk, right? They just want to hear themselves talk, and god damn, I don't even know. She probably have a man or whatever, right? Who's probably like a loser too, but still, like.
Well, she clout chasing hate. That's all it is. Because like you said, you could tell she really don't have like her own thoughts on these type of positions. So it's just like basic bullet points. Oh, we're getting pushed out. We're not getting universities. Stick together. So like no real deep thoughts or anything that connects, like you said. So yeah, you can tell it's like real surface level.
Yeah. On a side note, Myron looked like a fucking coke addict, bro. Like he looked like he just sniffed on some like baking powder, man, before coming to live. You look at his face, but
well, he's just inching the troll, man, and that's the situation. Because man, he's actually like a pretty articulate dude, man. But it's just like I think when people start like hitting a decline maybe a little bit, it's like, man, they look for they immerse themselves in every conversation. So it's almost like you're almost dumb to go like down certain paths. So in their mind, it's like, oh man, I'm getting notoriety. I'm on Piers Morgan, but I'm like, man, you're on this platform for the wrong reasons. Like, because like I said, I wouldn't even, this conversation would have been 2 seconds short for me. Like, yeah, that clip was fucked up. That lady should, that never should have happened. That's where, as far as I'm going. So for him to try to explain it, it's just like, man, you want to be perceived as being smart, but the fact that you're emerging yourself in this stuff shows that you gotta, like, you're either looking for validation so much, or you're just clout chasing everything, which shows a lack of intelligence. Because yeah, ain't no way in hell you're gonna merge me in some stupid shit. You know, you should know how to avoid certain situations. So the fact that you always in some situations, whether it's with like, you know, sugar babies, bum ass chicks, racial conversations, it's like, man, you just kind of keep getting caught up in like bad scenarios, which shows you got a certain mindset. You don't know how to spot. You're not situational, which is a masculine trait. So it's like, no wonder why you're always getting caught up.
Yeah, I think at this point, man, like he's really seeking for the validation of white supremacy so hard, man. And
well, I think, man, he wants that and clout so much. It's like, okay, I got to be an antagonist on everything. And it's just like, man, sometimes you got to be smart enough to avoid certain things, but yeah, they can't let it go, man. Once they get that, like, they're like cokeheads for attention. It's like, man, once you get that one fix, because, you know, like Fresh and Fit, the platform, man, for our like generation, definitely a big platform. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
But it's always like some people, man, they're always chasing that high. Because like I said, they might have not been the cool guy at school, so they catching up. And it's just like, man, the mind sometimes doesn't build up with that success. So in his mind, he's like, man, I got to keep putting myself in these forums, and it's like starting to backfire. So it's just like, I understand you have your points of views on certain things, but you know, it don't need to be every conversation don't need a opinion. You know what I'm saying? So this would have been one of the ones like, hey man, what do y'all you know, Piers Morgan hit me up. Like, come on here, we're talking about, I'm good. Like, I don't really got shit to say. That lady was disgusted. So I don't have no opinion on this. That's what a smart person does. You gauge the situation and you're like, nah. Oh, let me come on there and talk about freedom of speech and all that. So that's where he's gonna kind of start getting in, because Piers is like, man, obviously you want something to say. So
Lola said, man, these jiggers high on fake cocaine because white people call him a sad Negro. You know.
Shout out to Lola.
Shout out to Lola.
Yeah, we'll jump back into this, but yeah, I'm gonna find his name. But yeah, the lady at the end, she was like, I want none of that smoke. She's like, I'm not with her. Don't get it confused.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, if I would have been her, I would be like, hey, Piers, go ahead, put me in between Myron and the other gentleman. Get me away from her. I don't want shit confused or nothing.
Right.
Like, don't put us together. Like I'm rocking with the sisterhood or something on this one. I'll be like, hey, Moody's boxes player.
Yeah.
But shout out to Piers, man. He was like shutting it down. So I definitely give him props. Hey, one of y'all sisters might have to give Piers Morgan some play or something. He was holding his neck. One of y'all might have to holler, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so definitely kudos, man.
Give him that brown sugar like D'Angelo.
Oh man. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna play the video. Continue, and let me know when you want me to stop. I know you got some other like timelines as well too. So
the N-word by saying that white people are losing the country is absurd. It's morally bankrupt, and it's honestly besides the point. I mean, all these are just distractions from the fact that she wants to justify dehumanizing and even animalizing a small black child. It's disgusting.
What is it?
Yeah, I never said that. I never said that.
No, but you may as well have done because you're just an unashamed.
That's the implication of your
racist. Let me bring in Myron Gaines because you've been smirking and laughing. What's funny about any of this?
Well, I mean, I find it interesting that you guys want to virtue signal and, wag the finger and say she's a racist and everything else like this.
No, she admitted she's a racist.
Well, let me
I'm not wagging a finger at anybody.
She's self-identified as a racist.
But Myron, with respect, Myron, I don't need to wag a finger when somebody says, yeah, I'm racist. I use the N-word against black people. I don't care. That's a racist. I'm not wagging any finger. I'm not accusing anybody. She is admitting it proudly. Even you can't defend that, surely.
Everybody is racist to some degree. The reality is it depends on, a lot of people want to be politically correct. A lot of people want to sit there and say, I'm not racist at all. We all have biases. We all have stereotypes. We all make jokes. We all are racist to some degree. Now, how racist you are is a whole other situation, but everyone is racist. That's number one. Next thing I want to say, see, I think this Shiloh, Hendrickson, Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organized. And what I mean by this is for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions, and then they blame the system for it. For example, George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gray, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is they challenge the police officer, they get into a physical altercation, things go left, they die, something happens, use of force is utilized, and then they want to cry about the result, when in reality, it's not the police killing black people, it's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality or, oh, it's all so messed up. The reality is this. Black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time. They're able to be racist with impunity. They're able to call white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white America's had enough of it, and the chickens have come to roost. Now, look, am I saying that's awesome? Am I saying that's great? No, but for literally the better part of almost 2 decades since the Obama era, we've had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly, we're all tired of it.
Right, but just to be clear, pause button. You would have no problem with one.
I mean, what the hell did that have to do with a woman cussing out a kid? That's what I'm saying, man. You had to put the cape on, like it don't even connect. And so the whole thing, like everybody's racist, man, that's a stretch. Most people, like I said earlier, like, man, get along with people, go about their day. They're just focused on like elevating their family, So him trying to make that stretch. Like, do people say stuff and crack jokes? Yeah, but man, people don't want malice towards other people. And like I said, most people, if they see somebody cussing out a child, man, they're gonna stop that in their actions. Unless, like I said, you don't got a humane bone in your body or any morality. So it's like, man, to even like take up for this shit, it just shows where his head's at.
Yeah, man. It's kind of sad, man. Like you're derailing from like these talking points. What up, Mr. Best? Derailing from these talking.
That's good, Mr. Best.
Just so like you could have some type of to like say like, oh, like and look, and it's a bad comparison. Oh, everyone's racist. Black people have these privileges. Well, I mean, if black people have these privileges, then I guess like this country will have been well balanced, right? But it's not, and that's the reality of it. But leave it to, again, some of these clowns that you want to kind of use, and I still agree with you, like Jerk, as far as like the addiction for clout and to be seen. But again, also like you want white zaddy's praise too, and you're not going to get that. If anything, when you die, They're gonna mock you. They're gonna be like, "What a good little lap boy he was," and then that's it. Finito. On to someone else. So you're really doing like like the master's work anyway. But anyways, I'm going to digress.
Well, go back to the beginning when he was talking, because there was a point, man. I should have wrote it down, but I wanted to address it when he said it. If you could go back just a little bit.
Oh,
to when he started talking.
I'm gonna step in real quick if I may.
Oh, go ahead, man. No, not that far, but go back up, because it was like when he was talking, just when he started.
Number one, I don't pay attention to this dude because this dude is a clown, man. And how dare he use the great Malcolm X chicken coming home to roost rhetoric? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What he don't realize is that, if the chickens really came home to roost, and you know what I mean? What's going on, Lola? And the chickens really came home to roost, right? Salute to Vic and Lola. You know what I mean? If the chickens really came home to roost, his black ass would be right there in front line. If you think that these people like you, if you think these people are going to accept you, if they really did bring back slavery and they really took away all the DEI rights and all the civil rights, your ass would be right in that field, you know what I'm saying, picking cotton, and you'll be getting whooped just like everybody else. You know what I mean? Because they look at you all the same. Trust me. I know this. My family's from the deep south. They look at anybody who is colored or who has a darker complexion all the same. They don't look at you no different. You know what I mean? So him thinking that he's different is just a myth in his mind. And that's the sad part about it. You know what I mean? We got so much self-hatred amongst people of color that we don't even see who the real enemy is, which is a tool of the enemy. But I land there. Go ahead, y'all. You can roll it back.
No, you were spitting facts, yeah. This is like, man, like you said, Mr. Best. It's like, man, somebody that's truly has that hate in them and they racist, but like, man, they ain't trying to segregate people out. Oh, maybe I like this person. So it's like the kiss ass, man. Like, that's why when you see hate, you just shut it down. I don't care who you are, man. You should have no tolerance for hate or any of that stuff, and you don't defend it. Especially if, I see a lot of people that claim they Christians and they toy around with this stuff. It's like, man, if you Christian, man, you don't tolerate no form of hate to anybody. So it's like a lot of people, man, they'll claim that they're good people, but it's just like, man, you're sitting here explaining this shit. It shows your mindset and who you are. But yeah, go ahead and play this, because he said one thing, man. I wanted to address it.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and
racist and everything else like this.
No, she admits she's a racist.
Well, let me
I'm not wagging a finger at anybody.
She's
I don't need to
self-identified
But Myron, with respect, Myron, I don't need to wag a finger when somebody says, yeah, I'm racist. I use the N-word against black people. I don't care. That's a racist. I don't.
Because see, that's the thing. It's like, motherfucker, you wasn't listening? She literally was like, hey, man, I say it in my house. I say this and stuff. So he's still trying to defend it. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, at that point, I was like, dude is just chasing clout. Because I mean, if somebody come up there and say, hey, yeah, I'm pretty racist, yeah, I say this, like, you don't need to defend them at that point. Like, oh, why y'all calling them a racist? Like, man, because that's what Piers is giving them pushback, like, because she admitted it. Like, but he'll claim like he's a smart guy. That's what I'm saying. This is why it's hilarious. But yeah, you can keep playing it. That was one of the parts, and there was something else when he.
Do you want me to fast forward?
Yeah, you could just let it play out.
Okay.
I'm not wagging any finger. I'm not accusing anybody. She is admitting it proudly. Even you can't defend that, surely.
Everybody is racist to some degree. The reality is, it depends on, a lot of people want to be politically correct. A lot of people want to sit there and say, I'm not racist at all. We all have biases. We all have stereotypes. We all make jokes. We all are racist to some degree. Now, how racist you are is a whole other situation, but everyone is racist. That's number one. Next thing I want to say, see, I think this Shiloh Hendrickson Metcalf situation is a microcosm of a much bigger problem. And that bigger problem is what I call systemic organizing. And what I mean by this is, for decades, we've had black people literally running around with black supremacy, committing crimes, not getting accountability for their actions, and then they blame the system for it. For example, George Floyd, criminal. Ferguson, criminals. Freddie Gray, criminal. A lot of these people are criminals, and what ends up happening is They challenge the police officer. They get into a physical altercation. Things go left. They die. Something happens. Use of force is utilized. And then they want to cry about the result. When in reality, it's not the police killing black people. It's black people killing black people. And if you want to talk about black on white violence, black people kill white people 2 times as much. And on top of that, most of the shootings in America, a lot of the times, are white people killing.
So, okay, so let me reiterate. So he's saying that black people kill white people more than anything else, than white people killing black people. White cops are killing white people. And it was something else that he mentioned that was foolish as well, too.
Well, he said black people kill black people more than anything. And that is a fact. But that's with any race. And that's why I wanted to address. It's just like, man, most people are around their own. And most people, like, if you look at the crime stats, like the highest form of crime is with your own group. So that's why it's even funny about racism and hate. It's like, man, the person you probably need to be worried about is the person that lives around you. You know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of times in people's mind, they think like, oh man, the black people are going to come and get us. And even like the point he's trying to make, where it's like, well, black people attack white people more. Those numbers, like black on white crime or white on black crime, are very slim. It's typically your own race that the numbers are higher and stuff. So that's why I'm saying they're so fixated in, you know, a lot of, like, I'll say politicians and stuff, they know how to drive these wedges because they want people to like be against each other. So, you know, they could, you know, do stuff behind the scenes. So it's like a distraction. But yeah, most of the time, like he was trying to say, but he didn't go to that's why I say he's disingenuous and he's trying to chase clout because, you know, tell all the stats where like, yeah, black people do attack black people, but same thing with white people. White people attack white people, and then Asians, the highest crime is going to be against each other. So that's how it naturally happens. So yeah, I hate when people want to bend the stats and the things to trying to spit it like, hey, you know, kind of like, you know, not painting the whole picture where it's like, hey man, everybody typically attacks them themselves. But yeah, they just kind of let him, I think, ramble. And, you know, since he was spitting off so much stuff so fast, you know, I don't think they caught it, you know, and it is real time. It's hard to catch everything.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll continue.
Yeah, we'll jump back in there.
White cops killing other unarmed white men. So this whole systemic racism or police brutality or, oh, it's all so messed up. The reality is this. Black people have been able to get away with a ridiculous amount of privilege in America for a very long time. They're able to be racist with impunity. They're able to call white people crackers without being challenged back. And quite frankly, white America's had enough of it, and the chickens have come to roost. Now, look, am I saying that's awesome? Am I saying that's great? No, but for literally the better part of almost...
I'll pause it real quick. This is just for the sake of YouTube. So again, YouTube, please be advised that this is a reaction video. So what we discuss is not political, clinical, financial, medical, no legal advice. It's for information and entertainment purposes only. We do not promote racism. The stuff that you're hearing is not coming from us, but it's coming from what we're reacting to. And also, please be advised, the opinions of the panelists, guests, and the chat are not necessarily the viewpoints of knowledge relationships. Again, we're not a channel that promotes racism, okay? And Mr. Best said he'll be right back.
Okay.
But, okay. All right, cool. And what Lola says, she said something else too. Piers didn't call him in the data though. Okay. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and we're going to continue.
2 decades since the Obama era, we've had to have BLM and liberalism shoved down our throats, and quite frankly, we're all tired of it.
Right, but just to be clear, you would have no problem with one member of this panel openly saying she uses the N-word at black people with impunity and is proud of being a racist. You have no problem with that?
My worldview on the protection of the First Amendment and freedom of speech overrides my personal feelings. She has the right to say
That's
it.
fine. You can support the First Amendment, but you can also have a personal view about what she said.
My feelings are irrelevant. The Constitution is the Constitution. That's what matters.
Oh, that's fascinating. Hold on. So when it comes to chastising Black Americans about their behavior, about calling white people crackers, as you say, about their moral claims, about the racist system, you can levy a judgment against Black Americans for all the things they do. But when it comes to this woman saying the N-word, and this other woman endorsing it and saying that she herself uses the N-word, now all of a sudden we can only talk about the Constitution and the legal right. We can't offer any moral judgment against it. That's disingenuous. And it's as the only Black American up here, that's quite frustrating to hear.
If you want to be soft and get offended by that, that's your fucking problem, not mine.
See, hit the pause button.
We're not even.
Let me ask Ricky.
This isn't about.
And see, man, this is what I was talking about, because like on Fatty's channel, the dude that came up there, he tried to do the same tactic. Like, oh, if you want to be a soft or you want to get offended by what somebody says, it's like, hell yeah, you should be offended by that word, man. Like, don't let nobody lie to you and try to like manipulate you to not like take action. Because hey, like I said earlier, and man, I ain't trying to, I really don't do the say the violence thing, but somebody says that shit around me, man, you gonna get hit. Call me soft, emotional. You play with that word, man, you get, there's repercussions. And this whole like, he's trying to put the First Amendment thing. It's like, man, you got the right to say whatever you want. So like what people always say, it's like, man, there's freedom of speech, but there's freedom of response. And you play with that word, man, you definitely gonna get a response. So like Myron and them, man, like I said, they try to do that whole manipulation, like, oh, you're soft if you catch a feeling because of that. Nah, just because you can't relate to it and shit like that. Like, nah, you say anything to anybody out the norm. Like I was talking about earlier, man, I like growing up in New York, man, you have the Italian ghettos around there. You have the Jewish ghettos. Man, you had the Russian gangsters out there. Man, you say anything that offended them, like even the Irish, the Westies, man, you going in somebody's trunk, and everybody understood these boundaries, man. Like, nobody plays with that stuff. They might say that stuff at their house where it's safe, but you offend like anybody's like nationality, heritage. Ain't nobody playing with that. You can't be like, oh, you're being soft if I offend you. Hey, you offend them, you in trouble. So I hate when like weak men want to sit there and be like, oh, you're soft if you get offended if I disrespect you. How about you just don't disrespect people? You know what I'm saying? You could just start with that stance. And that's why I don't play with like jokes about other people's races. That's why you never hear me say anything, because I just have that respect. And I know some people that are very official in other nationalities that, like I said, you call them the wrong thing, man, you're gonna be on the back of a milk carton. So it's just like I always keep that composure. I don't want nobody saying it to me and put me in that zone where I might have to do something, and I just don't do it either. But like you get weak men that want to, well, freedom of speech, let me say what I want to, let me offend you, but don't hurt me. That's weak as hell. Because the thing with men going all the way back to time was like, if somebody offended you, you offer that person that fade. If I like, say I was talking shit to you, M3, and I was like speaking bad and I crossed them lines, I should have that understanding that, you know what, I did cross that line. M3 wants to throw hands like a man. I owe him that because I didn't have to say shit about him. So like even medieval times, man, they was picking up swords and going at it. Shit, the Westerns, you have to duel with somebody. So now we got a bunch of weak men trying to portray masculinity that want to call everybody out, but, scared to get their hands dirty and stuff. But it's like, let me offend you all I want to, but you're soft if you take any repercussions. So it's just coward shit, honestly. So I hated how he kind of went against the guy, was like, oh, that's soft if you get upset. Like, nah, you're supposed to be upset. And that's like historical implications behind that word. So I even give shout outs to the, what they call the little hats. I was like, yeah, you can't even say certain things about them. They'll shut you down. I have much respect for that. And I wish, man, as Black people, we start doing some stuff like that. We hear certain things, man, shut it the hell down.
Right. You know what I mean? And you can only make a difference, man, when you actually unite and actually like stand grounds and be stronger, and have that certain type of effort.
Zero tolerance. Like, you can have freedom of speech. Say what you want to. But when you you come out that coma, yeah, facts. Indigenous.
Shout out to IBM.
I'm stumbling tonight.
Yeah, but no, excuse me. But no, that's why. But see, that's kind of like you know, kind of like the shame to give the insults or whatever. But like kind of like in a man form, you know, things. Trying to tell people like, hey man, like I should disrespect you, and you should suck it up. Now, if let's just say if the dude in the middle, right, were to crash out and stoop onto their level. And again, shout outs to the ones like, because most of them that usually be on these platforms are like really conservative. So you have a lot of intellectual black folks or whatever that's on the panels that, well, minus Myron or whatever, right? You know, that's not going to really like, you know, go for tit for tat, which is kind of like a good thing, but it's also an unfortunate thing because if he were to crash out and then just say all kinds of racial slurs on them, then he going to want to play victim, you know. Then he going to be like, see, this is why we need to protect ourselves because, you know, big black, scary black man is being hostile. Anyways, let's go ahead, man. We'll continue.
No, real quick, because I mean that's facts. So it's just like you said, they're always going to try to spin it. But I'm just at the point where you don't even care, because sometimes you got to make an example, and that's where I'm at with it. Because I just, like I said, if I sit there, I understand the boundaries and respect. Because you know the flip side of it is Myron and even the one girl, they're never going to go to like a area that's like highly populated with black people, like or some of the ghetto areas and say that stuff. So it's like in their mind, they know the boundaries. They just know like, man, I'm online. I could take this this tough stance. But it's just like, man, you're not going to say it in front of the right people, you know, the ones that will do something about it. So people know them boundaries. So that's what makes it coward. Because it's like, man, if you're going to say something, man, go say it in the right areas without, you know, a ton of people and all that stuff. They won't do it, you know, because even with Myron, I saw somebody sent me the clip with that one dude came to his door and Myron was shook. So yeah, it was like the big dude that came and he had the gun and stuff like, hey, you crossed his line. So it's like, man, you ain't built like that. So it's like, man, you ain't got to always be tough, man. And that's what irritates me with people. It's like, man, you could be humane and be like, yeah, that was messed up what that lady said. You ain't got to defend everything.
Yeah, also to add on to it, like the guy came at him in the same time, saw him on broad daylight, ran up on him, and I think Myron ran. I don't know if he had his blanket with him at that time, but you know, he didn't want no smoke. So
yeah,
you know, everybody's an internet gangster, man, until you know you come up into their set and you put them on check.
Yeah, it's just, but him trying to defend this stuff, it was just clownish, man. And that was the issue I had. I'm like, damn, like, he called the guy soft, but it's just like, man, I see you do some soft shit too. So that guy getting upset and getting emotions because of that word, man, you shouldn't be calling him soft about it. So yeah, but we could jump back into it.
Being soft any more than when you were desperately saving these white people.
Hold on. This sensitive nature that you have is precisely why we have this problem.
It's not about being sensitive. It's about I didn't articulate. Hold on. Let me finish, Myron. Let me speak and then I'll let you respond. Myron, sure. I didn't articulate any sensitivity here. What I said, in the same way that you levied a judgment against black people, I'm levying one against the claims you're making. I'm no more sensitive than you were when you made your claim. I'm simply saying I disagree with you. And to immediately jump to you're being sensitive is just a distraction. I'm making an argument. Just respond to my argument.
If you're struggling with sleepless nights and
you can jump to the other mark.
To try Beans Dream Powder.
Piers Morgan had his ads going.
What's that again?
I said you could jump to that other segment because yeah, he had a lot of ads in this. Piers was like, shit, I gotta get paid.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We're at the 940 mark.
But I did like how the one guy handled that because he called out Myron trying to deflect in there, and like a lot of men do that. I've been seeing in like even debates, and they use that as a tactic. Oh, you're getting emotional. You're getting soft. So he called it out. He was like, nah, man, you was over there kissing ass, and I'm just responding to you. Attack the argument. So I like how he brought it back to the conversation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and my argument to respond to that is this: political correctness, liberalism, and making sure that we are politically correct and don't use certain words to offend people is precisely why we're in the situation that we're in. For decades, we've had to literally tiptoe around saying certain things around certain people, while the other group of people has been able to have impunity and be able to be as racist as they want to be, as violent as they want to be, without any type of consequence. And if you call it out, you're labeled a racist. The reality is this: Black people don't want to live around Black people. I don't want to live around a bunch of Black people. I move to neighborhoods where it's majority white because I know I'm safe. Now, this is uncomfortable reality that no one wants to say, so I'll say it for them. Black people commit a lot of crimes. The majority of the violent crime committed in the United States is committed by a small percentage of people, and they tend to be Black men. Look, the reality is the reality. People don't want to say it, but
Myron said, "I ain't fucking with y'all."
Being nice and not wanting to tell the truth is precisely this problem. And the reason why you're seeing all the support for Metcalf and Shiloh, etc., is because white people have not been able to step up and say what they want to say for a very long time because of what I said before: systemic, organized, where they don't take accountability for their
All right, let me
decisions.
bring in Ricky to respond. Ricky.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say that I agree that virtue signaling went too far, that political correctness went too far, but we're going from virtue signaling being the norm and being praised to now vice signaling being the norm and being praised. It's not just a matter of, does this woman have the right to use that word? I believe that she has the right. I disagree with it. But is she now being rewarded with $500,000? Why are we rewarding people for performing vice instead of virtue? This is not healthy. This is destructive to our society. This is destructive to our social fabric, to our culture, to our ability to live with other fellow Americans. It's gross to reward someone for bad behavior. It's one thing to tolerate it, to say that she has the right to do it, but she called an autistic 5-year-old the N-word. Like, I'm sorry, but I feel like we're kind of like missing the point in the actual context.
Thank you. Damn.
Okay, I didn't know the so not only the young kid, not only you're calling an N-word to a child who is Black. He is autistic.
So the lady in the playground was literally snapping on a kid that, first of all, is a kid. You know, they just don't know better. But now even having more details, it's like you said, the kid's autistic. So it's just like, man, that's what sent you over the edge. A little kid going through your stuff. So instead of saying, no, you know, you can't do that, you went over the edge and people donated like $500,000 to you for doing that. And then now you got Myron standing up for you, still like talk about some freedom of speech. So that's what I'm saying. This where I like what she said. She was like, man, what the fuck we doing? Like, why are we even discussing that when the lady was like cussing out a kid? Like, you're talking about freedom of speech, uniting. Yeah, motherfuckers about to have the Third Reich and shit. It literally, it's a clip of a woman going off on a kid. Like, why are we even talking about this?
Okay, so I know for the sake of YouTube, I gotta be careful of my words, what I'm gonna say. So I'm just gonna say this: for every person who donated to a white supremacist, oh, actually, let me put myself up in the full screen so you guys can see me. For any person who donated right to a white supremacist, calling a Black child who was autistic, he don't even have to be Black. It's just the fact is that the child is young, he's autistic, and you're promoting this systematic, like, you know, hatred, this hate speech. I hope that everyone else that donated, I hope that you go to like a cult. I hope that the pastor take all your money. I hope that, you lose out on every relationship. I hope that you gamble and then you fail. You have a high probability of losing 10 times out of 10. Matter of fact, I hope that the final season, right, gets canceled before you even get to chance to watch like the last episode or whatever that's your favorite show is on Netflix. So I hope all the other like terrible things happen to you guys, but in a more like I'll just say YouTube friendly type of sense. If you guys catch my drift. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and continue like our scheduled programming. But I just want to just give you guys my blessings. All right. Anyways, yeah, no, that's goddamn sad, and it just made these people sound more retarded than ever. You know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just didn't understand, man, why he felt the need to defend this, man. Like, you ain't got no counsel, like a friend, like, hey, man, I'm thinking about jumping on this panel. Let me let you listen to this. Like, nah, you need to stay away, man. You don't need to do this one. This one don't need no discussion. Stay out of it.
Yeah. And I'm surprised. Actually, hold on. Was Myron still talking?
Yeah, I think he was still talking.
Okay. Let me see what you got to say.
So you can say that it's part of this bigger meta story of Black and white America, but it actually is just like a short little clip, and you don't even know the context of it, and it's actually gross. And if we can't just say that it's gross and bad, then I don't really know where we are.
Well, I think it's interesting to me that Lily Gaddis, you retweeted Nick Fuentes, the white supremacist, by saying he said black people just raised $500,000 for a cold-blooded killer who stabbed a white teenager to death. So I don't want to hear one word about the Shiloh Hendricks fundraiser. Either everyone gets to be tribal or nobody does. Why would you retweet that?
Because I agree with it. Because we have to fight fire with fire. I mean, at some point, why are
nobody does?
Why are Jewish people allowed to be tribal? Why are Black people allowed to be tribal? But as soon as white people stand up for themselves, we're labeled a racist. And by the way, you call people racist when you want them to stop talking about things.
No, I called you a racist because you admitted you were racist. Hang on. I called, just to be clear, I called you a racist because you openly, proudly admitted you're a racist. So it wasn't a question of exposing you or pointing my finger or trying to get this out of you. You proudly sat there, bold as brass, and said, yeah, I use the N-word all the time against Black people. I'm a racist and I'm proud of it. That's what you did.
Racism is just having a preference. I prefer not to live around Black people. I prefer not to live in a country where white people in our country are disproportionately attacked by Black people. Where in my country, you can have an Austin Metcalf where he asks a guy to leave and he gets stabbed in the heart. I prefer that. That's a preference. Now, what a real racist is, in my opinion, is seeing someone as less human. I'm a Christian. I believe everyone's created in God's image. So I don't see anyone as less human. But that doesn't mean I'm not allowed to have a preference and say, I don't like what happens to be coming out of this community or that community. How is that a bad thing? How is that not just a preference?
Because you've literally made Black people sound lesser humans. You don't want to live around them. You want to use the N-word in relation to them, a word that you know causes that community unbelievable offense.
Is that my fault? If they have bad behavior, if they want to act in a certain way, if I have to cross the street and be afraid that maybe because of the crime statistics that are very real, by the way, is that my fault or is that their fault for having bad behavior?
I got to pause this real quick. All right, man. So for all like these fake Christians, right? These people that claim Christianity. Look, man, word of advice, stop claiming that shit. Okay? Look, I could be like a guy who practices Christianity. I read the Bible. I have my other Latino women read the Bible to me or whatever so I can understand it. But I'm not gonna go around and promote Christianity, especially if I know that I'm like this big time sinner or whatever. I mean, I'm not like no hated type of person that goes around spreading hate and then just using the Lord's name as a reference to like why we should be able to act the way that we act. But let me just say this though, right? Through so-called Christian, whatever, through Christianity or spirituality, however you want to call it, for people who claim themselves to be Christians, isn't the whole purpose is to make sure that, you know, you do right unto others as you want them to do right to you? Isn't you supposed to be like the type of person that kind of like sets the precedent to like where you bring people together as opposed to participate in the destruction? I don't understand how people could kind of claim a religion, you know, because obviously this person's trying to use that religion card or whatever, but then yet you still want to freely call blacks the N-word, and you feel like you're so bold enough and so brave enough to like say it out to the public. I don't know, but that's just me. I know, don't waste my breath. I get you, Lola, but I just hate people just use that Christian word.
Man, because they conflicted. That's the issue. Because it's like on one end, like you said, it's like I want to feel better about myself. Because man, if you go down that path of like hate and evil, man, that's some deeper rooted stuff. And a lot of times, man, those people gotta, like I said, it's like, man, they're kind of losers, awkward, you know, unsuccessful. So it's just like, man, I gotta chase the the hate profit machine and shit. So that they want to have it both ways, where it's like, okay, I'm Christian, but you know, you can't have that mindset and tie the two together. They just don't go. So like you were pointing out, it's like, okay, man, at one point, you know, you're touting that, but the whole life you're promoting nothing but division and and hate. So even the point that they're trying to make, like, oh, in these neighborhoods, it's just like, man, if you're smart, you want to move in a good neighborhood. So like me, man, my neighborhood, there's a lot of professional black people that live there. There's a lot of professional white people because, you know, we're by a lot of like military type installation. So man, everybody get along, man. Everybody do their part. So you should, if you're like a person that's, like I said, mostly sound and you claim you're spiritual, man, you just look for good, because anybody could screw you over, you know. And 9 times out of 10, like I said, most people kind of just like live with people that look similar to them, and those are the people that end up taking advantage of you, you know. So that's the funny thing when you start dissecting like the crime and the stats. It's like most people just like go after themselves. So when she's like painting this picture, like, because I'm pretty sure she don't live around like black people, but if you go in her day-to-day life, like the issues she might have with somebody, it's like, man, it's somebody your skin color, you know. So I don't understand why people just don't dissect that sometimes. Or, you know, like when people get divorced, you know, they're like, oh, I won't marry this other type. It's like majority of the time people marry themselves and they divorce themselves. So, you know, I wish people like Myron, it was like, okay, if you look at the stats, man, dig all the way into them. And then it should kind of remove that fear of like other people. Because when you start looking at it, you start seeing the picture. You're like, oh, okay, I just got to avoid certain things. Like a lot of stuff just boils down to poverty and classism versus race. Because when you start getting people like you go to Maryland, got a lot of like, I say wealthy black communities. Some people ain't doing no crime in there. When you see them big ass houses and them nice cars, some people be like, look, you come in there and they don't recognize you. Them black people in them neighborhoods, they'll call the cops on you quick. Like, what you doing over here? So yeah, it's just, I think it's more classism versus race.
Yeah.
But you know, they don't want to paint that picture because then it will kind of undercut that, hey, there are people that's doing good on that side. So they always got to go to the minimum part of the, you know, population that might have the crime and stuff.
Mm-hmm. You know, that makes sense though. And that's what we usually like, you know, face the most is the classism.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to a lot of times. It's just because, I mean, you go to, you know, the Appalachian where they got the fentanyl popping and stuff like that. Man, those are crime-ridden areas and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just because, you know, they're pretty poor in a lot of those rural areas. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. You ain't gonna want to be around them either. Shit. So it boils down to like money and like I said, them drug pockets. So yeah, that's you better just stay out the wrong area. That's what you need to focus on. That's why I say put me in a nice area. I don't give a damn who's in there.
Yeah,
they got the right mindset. Y'all good? We good?
And Lola, like Lola says, she's in the hood buying crack. And she's scared of the YNs and the boys. well, Lola, it's really cocaine. You know, it's a difference between what, you know, our people smoke and what they smoke. But cocaine, just to be like a little bit PC. Well, let's go ahead and we're gonna continue.
It's mind-boggling to me for multiple reasons. I mean, we're talking about bad behavior. You know, we've never lynched you, we've never enslaved you, we've never done any of the deep-seated structural forms of injustice to white people that white people have done to black people, and yet to claim some kind of moral superiority in the midst of, and again, in the context of a conversation where a white woman is calling a 5-year-old autistic child the N-word, and we're talking about black people's bad behavior. This is absurd. And the idea of fighting fire with fire, again, is a dishonest argument. Just to take us back to the point here, the people who are supporting Carmelo Anthony's campaign believe that he was wrongfully charged, and they're trying to get him legal defense. The people who are defending this woman are saying, yes, we know you called the 5-year-old autistic black child the N-word, and we want more of it. We approve of it. We support it. These are not the same thing. And it's bonkers to me that we couldn't all stand and say, hey, it is wrong to call a 5-year-old autistic Black child the N-word. I mean, Myron, let me just ask you that question. I think this is a yes or no question. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you think the woman was wrong to do what she did to that child in that park?
I don't approve of that. But what I will say is that it's very important to understand the entire context of what led us to this position. Because again, Metcalf and Hendricks is a microcosm of a much larger problem. Earlier, we were talking about tribalism when you were mentioning Nick Fuentes' tweet. Here's the thing. Black people could be as tribal as they want to be. You have people like Tariq Nasheed, Dr. Umar Johnson running around about Black power and marry Black women and keep it in the hood and all this other stuff. But if white people assemble and say, you know what, white power, we need to keep our nation white, they're immediately ostracized and labeled as supremacists, and they get banned off every single platform. I find that interesting. And matter of fact, you went ahead.
Is that the same thing?
No, actually, it is the same thing. Because here's the problem with Black people.
No, it's not.
Hold on, let me finish this. Black people practice the very racism they cry about. You guys can gather together and say Black Lives Matter, Black Power, but if white people get together and say white power, gather together, they're considered white supremacists and they get banned off every single platform. Why is that Jared Taylor and Nick Fuentes are banned off every platform for practicing white nationalism, but Black people are allowed to stand every single platform getting interviews on a Breakfast Club? Explain that to me. There's a two-tier situation here where Black people are able to benefit off of being racist while whites are not. And what we're dealing with right now in America is literally a backlash to this Black supremacy has been able to run around unchecked for a long time, and no one has the balls to call it out. Here's the other thing I want to say. Everyone's flipping out over Shiloh Hendricks and saying the N-word.
Hey, can I respond to the point you just made, though?
No, hold on. Nobody flipped out like this when the United States was getting destroyed in 2020 because of Black protests destroying every liberal city in America. So I don't want to hear it about, she made $100,000 because she said the N-word. Who cares? They destroyed billions of dollars of structure because someone got killed who was a criminal. That's the problem in America. You guys get a privilege that no one else gets to enjoy. You could be racist.
Okay. All right, I have to hang on. I'm going to hold it there. We've got another guest joining us. Mark, I'll come back to you to respond to that.
We can cut the lot because
we've been joined now by Jacob Wells. He's a Christian founder of the Give, Send, Go donation site.
Okay, so now we are at what mark?
There was one more at what I think 47:30. That's when they jumped back into the conversation after this person was talking. But Myron was deflecting. Because the dude was like, when he was asking him about the kid, he just answered it real quick. He was like, nah, that wasn't. And it went back to, well, this the higher microcosm, and this would set it off. I'm like, man, all that shit was unnecessary. Lady cussed out a kid. That's where this needs to stop. All this, like, people are burnt out. Like, I think, because I seen a lot of people talking about, damn, what was the name? Like Black Burnout or something like that. Mm-hmm. Which I think is stupid. Because like I said, man, America, man, we're privileged. Everybody across the board, honestly. And it's just like, man, there's a lot of opportunities. 9 times out of 10, if you ain't getting opportunities, you're not putting yourself in the right positions. You're probably like chasing your desires or whatever. You know, sometimes you got to self-reflect. So I think when people do start attaching the hate and pointing fingers at other people, they're getting something I'm not. 9 times out of 10, man, that person is, not doing what they need to do. So like Myron, for him to play onto that, it's just like, man, you can't be preaching male improvement, all the stuff that you do on your platform, but then you're placating to the message of like, hate, and pointing the finger at other people, what you don't have and why people are mad. That's fucking soft. If you want to call something soft, that's what it is. That's not masculine to sit around and placate into like those weaker emotions. Because if somebody came to me and was on some hate and shit, I'm like, man, ain't nobody could stop you if you truly feel like you that guy and you this and this. Like, man, come on, let's go get it. That's where the mentorship comes in. I was like, man, you don't need to be sitting on no hate. You can't change hate. Let's go be productive. Right. So for him to kind of fixate on that, and then you trying to preach male improvement and that type of stuff, it's just showing, man, you fraudulent. But it makes sense. That's why, like I said, he's having those issues with like females and all that. Oh, it's spinning right now.
Yeah. No, that makes sense though. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna continue. Hold on for 1 second.
No issue.
Seems like you're parroting towards us.
Okay, let's just assume that the viewers can make their own minds up about who's parroting what here. But I appreciate you coming on, Mr. Wells. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Piers.
Okay, let's go back to the panel there. I mean, Ricky, it seemed to me a lot of inconsistencies in Mr. Wells's position, not least the donning of the Christian hat when it suits them, but then removing it when it doesn't.
You know, I think it's definitely tough to make the call here and there and where to censor. I err on the side of not censoring as much as possible, but I agree with you that the selectivity of having issues with abortion, but not with these campaigns is certainly a problem. But I also want to go back to our point before too and make the point that I hate this argument that because some people were tribal, we should be tribal too. And shouldn't we want to live in a society where we say tribalism is bad in general and negative in general, and so therefore we should be erring towards individualism and not fighting tribalism with more tribalism? I think that's a net negative.
I agree. Myron, your last words on this.
Okay. I never got to respond to Myron's other.
The thing with tribalism, it's a natural human instinct. Like, we are literally designed to want to be in communities and want to be a part of a set of community because it ensures our survival. It's been that way since the beginning of time. So the thing is that people are typically going to align with people that share similar features. And that's why we have the tribalism we have going on right now. So the problem is it's not going to go anywhere. I think the problem is that we've had this penting up for literally decades, and this has been a response to it. You have people that are coming out and supporting someone who you guys might deem as a terrible racist, but I think it's also very important to understand how we got here, because if we're going to look at the smaller problem, we can't look at the bigger problem. And it's what I said before, unchecked, systemic.
All right, Mark Lamont Hill, your last words on this.
This repeated use of the word, I think, first of all, I want to just register that as offensive, particularly as someone who doesn't identify as a member of that community and who is not, right? I think that's incredibly
I'm the definition of African-American. I'm the definition of African-American.
And troublesome, and to as a Sudanese American or an outsider who's using African American, a very technical term, the same way that Elon Musk is an African American, I think it is a bit disingenuous. But the bigger issue here, I think, is that, you know, this idea of equating of one side to the other side often loses track of this issue of power. To use his example, when Black people stand up and say, "Hey, let's build our own stuff. Hey, let's have a Black power movement," that is not the same as a white power. I'll let you speak uninterrupted. Let me finish, please. My Sudanese brother. So when a Black person says, "Hey, let's preserve our culture," I have no problem with Italians or Irish people or anyone else saying, "Let's preserve our culture." But when we don't talk about ethnicity, but actual race, and when white people say, "Let's preserve whiteness," it's an exclusionary practice. It's about preserving laws and practices and tactics that do harm to other people. A Black power movement was about opening stores and building businesses. A white power movement was a white power. That's the giga. A white power movement was about something very, 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 very different. A white power movement included lynchings and included Ku Klux Klan, etc. So let's not pretend that these are opposite sides of the same coin. When white people say, "Let's save our country," even using the language of our country, when Black people built this thing, when you say that, you're talking about forcing people out of the country. You're talking about laws that discriminate. You're talking about doing harm to people. Let's not pretend these are the same thing, just like these GoFundMe campaigns are not the same thing. I'm okay if everybody gets out of the GoFundMe industrial complex. I'd love that. But let's not pretend that supporting someone for a fair trial is the same thing as supporting a grown white woman berating and calling the N-word to a 5-year-old autistic Black child. And the fact that everyone in here can't be unanimous in condemning that says exactly how they're not the same.
I totally agree. I'm going to go to Lily Gaddis and just ask you one more time. I mean, you've been so unashamedly proud of being a racist today, proud of using the N-word whenever you feel like it. You've had a bit of time to think about this. Is that how you want people to leave this panel debate, with thinking of you as a disgusting racist?
I don't really care what people think about me. As long as you care about what people think about you, you have no power and you lose your country. What I care about is freedom of speech. And if you're not allowed to say the most offensive things in this country, you do not have freedom of speech. I don't care what anybody says. So that's the main crux of this situation. That's what I care about with this situation. It is, we have lived for far too long in a country where you can have your life destroyed. And people say, "Oh, she doesn't need this money." Her life's destroyed, by the way. She'll never be able to get another job. She's got children to have to support. And I don't want to live in a country where you can say an inappropriate, rude thing, which, by the way, Black people can say things to white people all the time and they never get canceled. There's no backlashing about this. I want to live in a country where people are allowed to say what they want unashamedly, and you will
Well, go
not
on then,
have
say
free-
it. Say
You
the
will
M.
not have
Go on,
free
say.
speech.
Go on, say the M word. Go on.
Okay, I like the challenge.
No.
hang on.
Don't invite. No.
No.
I don't want you to invite this woman to say a racially harmful term in front of me because I'm the only on here. So if she says it, I'm the victim of it. So please don't invite her for ratings to call me the N-word. That's basically what it's going to be. There's a bunch of white people up here. You and one Uncle Tom on the left here, and ask her to say the N-word while I'm here is ridiculous. You would not sit here with a Jewish person and say, please use a Jewish slur in front of this Jewish. It's ridiculous. I understand you don't have any bad intent, Piers. I understand what you're trying to do, but we already know she's racist, and I don't want to invite a racial harm to me.
I hear you, and I accept that, and we'll leave it there. Thank you all very much.
Let me pause real quick. Okay, that's probably the one time I say like Black Dude in the Middle should just shut the fuck up. And because I know what Piers Morgan was trying to do, and again, it wasn't out of ill intent, but we needed to hear her be that bold enough to say it. Because here's the thing: you talk all this shit on the internet, you're saying one thing, so stand on your word on it. You know, that's the only part I would be like, okay, you kind of messed up on that one. Where I'm not trying to call him sensitive, but I'm like, fall back a little bit. Let him do what he need to do. Be smart, because the moment she says that, then I'll be like, okay, we know where you really stand. But unfortunately, we're not gonna get that. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was a little dramatic on that, because don't get me wrong, like I know sometimes you don't want to hear it, but I damn sure would have let it play out, because like I would have muted myself, and Piers would have been hyping her up to say it. I would have been on the phone with my lawyer like, hey, this shit is on live. Like, I need 50 million. I need y'all on deck. We about to get paid. Like, I'm suing all these motherfuckers. Like,
that was in the field. I think that I was like, yeah, that's right. Because I was, and here's the thing. I really respect Piers Morgan for that, right? Next time, let the guy be excused or whatever, right? But I know if that was me, I would have been like, okay, say it. Just say it, you know? That would have incriminated her so heavily. But, you know, she didn't really have like the tits to really like be out there and say it anyways, though. And that's why, like, and it kind of goes to like your point about some people just there for the clout, just trying to be seen and trying to be heard. But if you was really all about that life, I'd be like, hey man, like what's up, nigga? You know what I mean? Like, I would have been upfront with it, or saying the cracker word or whatever, if I was really that type of person. But anyways, though, a lot of people talk the talk, but they never really stand on the square, anyways. And Marcus says you can't blame Myron on anything here. It's not on him. I found it comical. Marcus Lamont Hill is a race baiting clown. And it was actually Piers Morgan's fault. He's on the running of the show anyway. Well, he's the one running the show.
I disagree with you, Marcus, because it's not Myron's fault for the dialogue of this. What we're calling out is like, you don't need to go and defend every point, because the whole, I say, premise of this whole conversation was the clip where the female was cussing out a child. So the conversation didn't really need to go any further than that. Now, if there was a different conversation where it's like, hey, we're discussing how division is taking place and what's the cause, then that would be the forum where it's like, hey man, this is what happened, where Myron could have came on. But to take that clip that they're talking about where the woman cussing out a kid and pivot into like, well, this is why people are mad. Like, you just can't combine the two issues, because a kid's a kid. Like, and that's what I'm saying, especially like the one racist lady's like, oh, I'm a Christian. Like, then you shouldn't be on board with somebody cussing out a kid and calling them the N-word. So that's why I'm saying that, yeah, the two conversations is unrelated, and you just had people that were chasing clout and wanted to jump in here and pretty much move the goalpost with their fuckery. And that's what Myron was doing.
Yeah, I would like to invite Marcus, Lola, anyone else who's been watching like the show. Feel free to come up. I could give you guys like at least a good 15 minutes to have like an open discussion on this one. I think it's very prominent for us to just come together so we could get a more clear understanding on our viewpoints. Here's the thing. Okay, was Myron right about a few things? Only things I could really think of what he's probably right as far as like the crime aspects or whatever. Which I don't know why we always use this term, the black on black crime. Crime is crime. Okay. Black folks or whatever, unfortunately, like they delete our own people. That's a fact. White people delete their own people, and also Hispanics as well too, and other nationalities. And when you think about the other countries, like Sudanese and India and all that, China, Japan, whatever you want to call it, yeah, there's going to be people deleting their own people. So I could kind of agree to that, but it's just what is foolish to me, in my opinion, is that you are defending a racist bigot that is pretty much down talking a young African American man or boy, who's autistic, and then you have all these other like people, right, that's donating to the cause, and you earn $500,000, which kind of shows me the buffooning that's going on. So I don't feel bad for anyone who's actually defending this type of cause and who's actually supporting it. I hope that your alternator, your car like blows out. You know what I mean? And all that good stuff. But anyways, we got Lola in the building.
What's good, Lola?
Hey, okay. I don't know if I should say I disagree or ask a follow-up question because, you said she made a point that was true about statistics. She didn't state no statistics.
No, nobody said her. We're talking about what Myron was saying as far as like the stats. I think that's what he was saying.
Okay,
well, she ain't say shit truthful. like
really, let me switch it. Myron didn't state any statistics. Now, truth be told, the worst thing you can do is come from a place like Sudan and talk about crime in America. We don't even, there is no such thing as the way they live out there. It don't exist here. The type of crimes that happen out there don't happen here. Like, it's no comparison. Like what happened with those 40 plus girls going missing all at once and being held up and being gang raped all over again and sold back to their parents at large to the government. Like, that don't happen here. No, like no. But see, here's what I like about Myron. He didn't say, well, it's equally that, the statistics for white men, they're in danger too, because statistics say that they're more likely to spray the whole place up and shit. Like, so people should be afraid of white men, or they're such afraid of white men. This is a problem. Like, because, that's the thing too, right? So instead of him like stating all the statistics, on everybody's side, he wants to sit and just talk about black people. And like you said earlier, M3, this is about what a grown person did to a child. Imagine this was about a grown man assaulting a young girl that was about the age of 5. He's 32. He assaulted a 5-year-old in any way you can think of. We would not be here talking about the problems with the race of either party. We would be talking about how we want to have that man's nuts chopped off and how that child needs some recovery. That's what we be talking about. But see, this is when a white woman is involved, her tears, which is her begging for money, is the only thing that matters over anything. Because if you don't know anything about white men, they do not fuck with white women like that. You know that. And the last thing a white man want to give his tax dollars to is a single mom living at home without a job that got a mouth problem that don't look like shit with no tits. Okay, they got a thing with tits. Okay, like that's the last thing they finna get their tax dollars to. But yet they flooding money to her. The truth is, Listen, racist people like that shit. Now, I can show you serial killers that raised just as much money while they were on trial and actually was found guilty. Like, I've seen people do worse things, like knowing that the person was guilty. Like when it comes to money, fundraising, all that support. And you be like, yo, this person killed 16 white women. How the fuck is white women up here praising this nigga? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? Trust me, it gets weird out there. Okay? So this is why I'm not offended too much because she raised money, because I already know it's like, yo, first of all, you said you needed it for protection. Now you need $1 million so you can live because you can't get a job. That's what we doing now? Paying single mothers because they can't get a job because of the foolishness that come out their mouth or out their vagina? Okay. This is what I'm saying. This country is a racist country, but this is every day of our lives. We know this. But see, the problem that I'm having with Mark Lamont is that he's a hypocrite. He is a hypocrite. Like I'm not even gonna get into his rhetoric, but the fact that he's up here taking the position he's taking shows that he's more of a hypocrite than anybody here. Now, did anybody see Saint and Sinner and that other dude?
No Fugazi. Yeah, they had a pretty good one, man. He did a good breakdown over it on this whole.
Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on for 1 second. Lola, who was Mark Lamont?
That was the black dude in the middle. I could have remembered his name.
Mm-hmm.
So what he be what's his typical position on this type of stuff?
He said he's a guy who argues that a woman can be a man.
Oh.
And a man can be a woman. Yeah. That part.
Okay. Yeah, he on some other shit.
So he went toe to toe with Candace Owens and a few other ones claiming that a man can be a woman and should be respected as a woman. And I'm like, and then when it was asked of him, can a man have a baby? He said yes. I'm like, okay, I see where you at. So now you getting all emotional over shit, and it's like you can't even see the alley oop. Oh, cause you in your feminine. I got you. So that's what I'm saying. Like he was doing bullshit. But I really do like Saint and Sinner's X breakdown of this. What we just watched, he broke that down line for line. And as far as like what Myron said, and what I think what she said too, but mostly Myron, because he got a thing against Myron.
Well, they was actually friends. So I think he was like going a little light on him, but I could tell he was
the way he should. He didn't go light or heavy. He just went with the facts, which I can appreciate. I can appreciate. He didn't lie on him. He didn't call him out his name or nothing. He went in the way a professional would, and I mean that was fine. Even Fugazi sounded like he had a little bit of act right during that interview. Like
they did a real good live. I thought that was probably one of the best breakdowns because I was actually going to review theirs on that one, but I was like, I just wanted to show the raw footage, but we might have to circle back in because they did an excellent job. They sounded real intelligent.
Yeah, if y'all go back on that one now and y'all and played this one out,
but Lola, let me ask you a question. I'm sorry to. Do you think you could? Because this is the only issue. Because I understand like the Saint and Sinner, where it's like, okay, man, I done have business dealings with him, so I'm never gonna like really go in on somebody like that when I done shook your hand. So I kind of understand that to a certain degree. But there's certain things I'm willing to like throw all that shit away. And this is, one of those kind of things where if I see somebody cooning like that, I'm just done with you. So could you kick it with somebody like that or still have some business relations with anybody like Myron?
No, and Saint and Sinner, he's very strategic. He's seen the end right there. Because here's the thing, at Saint Sinner, he don't get no points by being friends with a bootlicker. Literally, I have literally seen white men say to him, yeah, you out here trying to cake for us, and that's cool, but you still a saying N-word, and we want you out of here. And I've heard him respond back to those same white people. And I'm sitting here like, yo, you here defending people who really don't even want you defending them because they hate you more than they hate Black Americans. Because you represent something different to them that don't have nothing to do with African Americans. And I'm sitting here like, yo, are you fucking kidding me? But see, as far as like Saint and Sinner goes, if you got business with him, whatever business you got with him, you better make sure that it can generate money, because if he been saying a lot of shit about small hats, and I know they've been looking for a reason to blacklist him beyond, but they can't just do it because he said their name, because they know even politically that would be a problem right now with Trump in office. However, that shit that he been saying about the Daily Wire, and he been going hard wire on them. Listen, all them small hats gotta do is show, because Myron already blacklisted off the internet. He don't get money off the internet. Satan Center doing him a favor. But if he get blacklisted from the internet, sort of like how, you know, the German guy with the mustache, you can't even say his name without you getting blacklisted. They finna sit and have this dude off the internet, because I'm like, yo, first of all, if you want to be critical of anybody, you gotta be respectful, because this is politics. Secondly, if you want to sit and aim at a protected class of people, and then aim at another protected class of people based on the history of the country you are visiting, truly, you're visiting here, your parents just got their citizenship, like y'all haven't even started smelling like Americans yet, you finna get deported, yeah. Like, because trust me, you finna get deported. Like, you was born to foreigners, like straight up, you finna get deported.
Let me ask you, what's your thought on like freedom of speech, as far as like what Myron and even a girl in the videos kind of like, well, you know, freedom of speech. What's your take on that, Lola?
I'm gonna say about the freedom of speech. It grinds my gears when I hear anybody talking about, well, I should have the right to say what I gotta say. This is supposed to be the free world. First of all, there's no law that says this is the free, quote unquote, world out here in America. There's nowhere where that's written down at. Secondly, freedom of speech has its limits as it pertains to protection from the government of you attacking your government for what they're doing. You yelling out fire in a movie theater because you just want to play a joke and you should be protected. That's not protected speech. Hate speech, right? It is protected, right? But you causing like that hate speech to meet somebody physically, like to the point where, like, let's suppose she would have called that child an N-word and the mother came up to her and said, what you say? And she stepped in her face just one step. And then that mother took off and protected herself because she came in within arm's distance. Now you got potentially a trial on the hand. And what you finna say? Like, you yelling out racial slurs that are not protected to somebody that's not the government, and you think that you mad because you can't be protected from doing fuck shit. Like, this is what I hate about white people. They claim they so educated. They want to put themselves in such a position like they're so much morally better. Meanwhile, their own laws they don't know about. Meanwhile, their own history they don't know about. Talking about let's take our country back. Bitch, go get a DNA test, because most of y'all don't know where you come from in Europe, and go back to fucking Europe. Matter of fact, it's countries in Europe that's now claiming, hey, the way they treating y'all out in America, we have a place for y'all back here in Europe. You know why? Because Europe is dying. The white people in Europe, they're dying, and they need more people. So matter of fact, let's all go back to the country we came from. But the problem with African Americans is we didn't come from nowhere. We was forcibly brought here and purposely mixed up so we wouldn't know where the fuck we can go back to. Like a permanent jail. See, we didn't ask for that. That's why we can't go back no damn way. But them Europeans, oh, they can go way back to where they from. Okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I hate when people talk like that. Something, go back to your country. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You're white in America talking about go back to somebody's country as if you're not from a white country? Like, what are we talking about? And
right.
claiming
And real quick, and Lola, like, and I definitely, here's the thing, I boldly definitely like agree with you when these people be talking about these stupid rhetoric points, right? That absolutely makes like no sense. But real quick, Great Pill, I see you up here. Before I let Great Pill speak, I gotta play this video because I know you guys was talking about Saint in the Center, or I guess
it's long. This
would
would be
just kind of long. Snippet right here, right where he's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From Marvin, so I'm gonna get this part out the way first. And then the conversation.
Saint go in. So yeah, he would.
Yeah. We're gonna keep it short. It's just this certain part where I guess he gave his opinion about Myron. So I just want to kind of hear that part real quick.
A bunch of black people. I moved to neighborhoods where it's majority white because I know I'm safe. Now, this is uncomfortable reality that no one wants to say, so I'll say it for
I
them.
would have paused them right
Black
there
people-
if I was Piers. I would have said, "You're Sudanese. Are there any Sudanese neighborhoods? Like, why wouldn't you move into a majority Sudanese neighborhood? Like, that's a conversation we should be having, right? Because you're Sudanese. You know, you said blacks are bad. Fair enough. Like me personally, I haven't lived in a black neighborhood since I moved out the ghetto. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, same here.
You heard me? And I wouldn't move back in unless it's Silver Spring, Maryland, which is a very affluent black neighborhood. And if I had kids, that's certainly where I would want to be among other black people, because my kids are black and I don't want them to be discriminated against. But moreover, it would be completely appropriate to say, hey, you're Arab, you're Sudanese. Would you move into a Sudanese neighborhood? And if so, where are they? And if you say there aren't any in America, then say, well, will you move back to your country? And the question is, why is no one asking this? Like, it's like weird because he's being treated as either an honorary black man or an honorary white man, and he is neither. Like, we're ignoring what he is. It's like the biggest elephant in the room, and it's just so bizarre to me. So it's like people are like dealing with the stage name and the stage presence rather than the substance of the man.
Yeah, and I think that this part of the conversation.
All right, so that's all. I just wanted to kind of play that particular part because at that moment, Saint had Saint in the center, or Saint had a really strong point. Why no one's actually challenging on him? Because again, maybe because some of these white people are just looking at him like he's just a regular Negro or whatever. So they're not really paying attention to the fact that it's like, hey, you're not African American, even though he did claim earlier or try to claim that, oh, like, you know, I'm African American. I know the struggle or whatever. And I forgot, dude or whatever, other black dude put him in this place and say, no, you're a Sudanese American. But again, you know, you have these black foreigners that's trying to speak on African American talking points as if they fully experienced, you know, what we went through as African Americans. So I just kind of want to put that out there. Go ahead, Lola.
Even white people don't see him as an African American, because if you grew up and your first language is Arabic, right, you are not African American, period. I don't care where you born at, what you look like, you are not African American. If your parents doesn't have any DNA that go back to slavery in America, on what grounds are you African American? Like, on what grounds are you African American? Like seriously, even white people are. And I'm saying that to answer your question. White people aren't challenging him because they don't see him as African American. They see him literally like Mark said. You just as African American as Elon is with his passport. Like, that's just like if you was an Asian dude, like a Chinese dude born in Africa, and you got your African citizenship, you're a naturalized citizen in Africa, but you're a Chinese guy, and you move to America. By definition of the legalese of it, the Chinese guy is just as African American as he is. So this is how dumb this dude is. Like, you really dumb to sit and say I'm the definition of African American. Nigga, you in the wrong place. You trying to have an American conversation with American white people, and you don't even understand how Americans are even speaking in terms of the phrase African American. That has a history with it. You can't just say that word. It's certain words in the Italian and in the Polish community that when you say the word, it has a history. And if you don't come from a certain background, don't say that word in them communities or to those people. Like everybody know this. But it's like, you gonna sit down and not be challenged? No, it's not that he's not challenged. It's just white people legit don't respect him. Like, they don't. Even the white girl, notice she not taking up for Myron. She just saying what she's saying. She ain't saying one word to really agree with him. She just speaking her mind. And she could have said one time, yeah, I agree with Myron. No, she making clear, like, no, I'm not standing next to you. Like, you're a foreigner. I'm a white woman. I believe in my country, and you are in my country. That's how she really feel about him. But he can't see it because he's really not from here. He literally is just someone who has citizenship here. And it's like, yo, I like these people get on my everlasting nerves.
Yeah, she's like, I ain't about to line with you and fuck this bread up.
Exactly.
she like,
Or San Negro.
She shook her head a little bit, but she was like, I ain't saying shit.
Literally. Ain't say one word.
What's your thoughts?
There's a lot.
Go ahead. You got the floor.
Yeah, I just have to remember to take notes every time when people, and it's nothing against Lola, but it's a lot. It was something she said about like crossing over and what people see you as. Yeah, I agree with Lola talking about what race Myron is, but the problem is once you come over the border of US, people are just gonna check a box. You're either black or you're white or you're Mexican or you this. Even Latinos have their own diversity in their culture, just like black people do. But once you cross over here, it's like, oh, you're Mexican. And the Mexican are like, no, I'm Puerto Rican. Or Puerto Rican like, no, I'm this. So that's pretty much how they do us too. It just sucks. They will look at Myron the same way. It's even worse that Piers Morgan is having like the lineup here. It is all wrong. Lola's 100% right with the guy in the middle. I heard that conversation even before the conversation. He wasn't really about anything. He would just found his way in the line of the podcasting and taking it from there. And Piers Morgan, I think low key Piers Morgan, because I saw a little bit. Alba made a comment like, "Hey, one priest said, oh, they might not know who these people are." I think Piers Morgan knew a lot who these people are. He definitely knew who Myron was. He definitely knew who the racist white chick was. He knew who these people was when they brought him on for the show to invite him, because they were very controversial, viral moment people, and they brought him on for that. I personally don't remember the girl in the far end, but she just seemed like the typical person, like, hey, let me just keep my nose as clean and stay as stoic and polite as possible, and let me just get through this. That is pretty much how it was. Nobody had anything to fight for. The guy in the middle next to Myron, he had somewhat of some conversation, but it kind of like hypocritical, because it's like the two versus evils. Which evil you got to pick? Saint and fucking Fugazi pretty much gave a better breakdown and more, hey, this is how we represent for the black quote unquote unity in the community, versus the other two on the Piers Morgan panel. And that is sad. Now everybody else that's doing this whole complaint about black people this and black people that, then you should be the representation for you to get your face up there. Unfortunately, you're not. So those people that are up there, they're going to speak for a majority or their minority of people that's for them. That's it. So either you fall in that line of that little algorithm, that spectrum, or you don't. It takes like people like, and this one I have to give Lola her flowers for this one. You need loud speaking people like that that's giving facts on a situation like this, or majority of y'all guys say, hey, let's see the difference of perspective with this conversation. You just need those type of people. And those type of people need to get together, not on a panel, but just a voice here, a voice there, a voice there, circulating around it and saying, no, this is not right. This is not who it is. That should be the foundation and focus of that conversation. But what happens is, just through the cracks, you're not going to get an all one-sided thing on this, because you're always going to have individuals that sympathize for Myron, sympathize for the goofy in the middle, definitely sent for this woman, the racist woman right there, and pander to Piers Morgan when he shouldn't be having a lot of people on his panel, but he does. So it is pretty much it is what it is.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, he knew who he was pulling up on his panel, so definitely that. But I think the good thing with it is it opened up a good conversation, because so many people like started covering it. And I think with people getting at Myron, because a lot of people had a consensus like, hey, he's a clown.
Yeah, he's raising a real bar on the type of, because people like in the beginning we used to like just say, hey, Myron's this, Myron that, and it was a back and forth. Now he's raising the bar. It's like there's no more question about it. You are what people describing you as, a quote unquote coon. You are the asshole. You're a jerk. Like there's no in between no more about it. Either you're rocking with this type of person, it was used to be this relationship. It used to be fitness. Now just like in this whole other scale where it's like, okay, now you got Saint the Sin, the one that got so many like documentaries on this guy, like being a cult leader, a narcissist, all this stuff. Now you got him and Fugazi raising up a bar like, hey, well, something got to get spoken up against this person. Which low key, I think Saint is still taking advantage of it too because it's about him. But he's coming out so well versus like you have no choice but not to listen to him.
Mm.
And his audience been well groomed and conversed than Myron's is, so it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I was just sad pretty much when you look at this, and it was like, man, about a kid. So I do like the lady at the end in the red, how she kind of brought it back. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
Exactly. You gotta come back to like what it is. Like, and people, like I say, you got all shock jocks here. You got Myron, you got the chick in the middle. This dude just like, I get him being emotional, but it's like, bro, you said the most dumbest stuff too, and it's like you know it's not gonna get thrown back in your face to the stuff you're saying, like Lola was saying earlier about the like what you think the woman is or like the pronouns situation. Like, come on, man, you can't in one side of your mouth say one thing loudly, then the other side of your mouth say this the opposite of what you're claiming. Like, it's gonna get thrown back in your face.
That part.
Yeah. Because in the beginning, I was talking, I'm like, man, if I saw, I don't care if they was black, white, Asian, you know, yelling at a kid some names, man, I'm running up on you, man. Like, so I just don't understand how people just don't think like that. Maybe I'm wrong or something.
I think honestly, bro, I know there's people like that in real life, but for some reason, I just see more of people just on the internet doing this dumb stuff. I don't really see nobody like in real life like that, but maybe that one is always gonna be like 5 people out of nowhere that will run across the street just to knock you out, or like yeah, it would just be that just that one person like just do some dumb stuff like that. Like, yo, what are you doing? Just outrage, like physical outrage.
Well, I'll say this. I noticed that nobody wanted to talk about why Shiloh said what she said to the boy, because she was asked, why would you do that? And she answered. She said he was acting like an N-word. And I found that to be perplexing because she associates the N-word to criminal, right? And a 5-year-old that sees a bottle, right? Because it was a baby bag. It wasn't her purse. It was a baby bag. Sees a bottle or a toy and wants to grab it because he doesn't quite understand what theft is right at the moment, right? Is acting like a N-word. And I'm sitting here like, so thieves are N-words. Why is it that she wouldn't call a white person an N-word if a white person was stealing? Why is it that the N-word only applies to thieves that just so happen to be of a certain ethnic group, not even race, ethnic group? What's up with that? So no matter how you break that down, right, it shows that she is just a racist. It's not a matter of, like she said, well, he was acting like a nigger. Like, that's no. Who defined the word nigger as a criminal? Because I know a lot of black men that was called the N-word that wasn't doing nothing. They was just existing. And that's the way it's always been.
Be careful by saying like the N-word with an ER. So just for you.
No, I'm not even talking about the end of the AH at the end. I'm talking about the one with the ER at the. I've seen a lot.
I'm just going to be careful when you repeat it.
I've heard a lot of black men, scholars even, called the N-word. And my thing is, when did it change? When did the definition of the hard ER change? Can somebody help me out with that? Because Pierce didn't want to ask the question.
It has them, like you said, racial implications. They're gonna call you that, man. You could be eating an ice cream cone by your damn self, like you said, reading poetry. No racist person's gonna call you it. So, man, they be trying to patch it up because I think they know when they step in it. They're like, well, it's because of the crime, you know.
Nah,
you can't move it. Like you said.
Not even just saying it. You know, they saying it when they just walk past you. Look, it's like, oh, like you know, like when somebody. We know, but I think over time they're trying to like dumb it down or desensitize it to a point where it's like now they got another excuse like, oh, I didn't say the ER, but you still call me one though.
I think the biggest thing that frustrates me, and I was mentioning it earlier, where it's just like I don't know if y'all seen Fatty's live when he had the one guy up there. He was kind of defending this, and his whole thing is like, oh, you guys are emotional if you respond, or if I call you this word and you respond to me, in a negative way, then you guys are emotional. It's like,
but what premise should we not be emotional?
Nah, that's my whole thing. Like, you're getting that work. So it's like, man, you ain't about to do no reverse psychology on me and be like, oh, you're emotional because I give you a response. It's like, man, could you not just say it? Aren't you the emotional one if you're like throwing the word around when you know all the history that comes with it to try to get a reaction, but when you don't get the one that you could control, now it's emotional. So yeah, I hate that.
Yeah, that's goes back to the point before, like because I saw that too, and I know little Jakey boy, but it's pretty much just shock jock, like keyboard warrior. Let me be tough guy on the internet, because like in real life, because he seemed like he's from Cali, like how he act on and stuff. Like some people you just know in real life, when he gave an example, like you won't go to the barbershop, you won't do this, you just won't. Now you might play the dumb card, like let me run past it, or let me play dumb and say it, and then let me scoop past the door real quick and like pretend nobody said it, but that one person might hear you, and then they'll come out like, look, you already around the corner. It's like, I'm not chasing you. And they say, oh, well, I said it though. Bro, nobody's chasing you. So he's just one of those people.
Yeah, it's like, have the balls. Like, if you gotta do something, man, go all the way with it. That's me, man.
Yeah, go all the way. But it's the internet, man. Everybody gonna be tough and say, well, I know this, that, third. But okay, again, perfect example, like Fatty said, we know you're not gonna go in a room full of whole black people. I think me and somebody else had a different we had the same thoughts, but again, it's not everybody. Like you'll have some that will literally have the time of day. You have people say, hey, I don't give a fuck. You have those people like, I got the time, I don't give a fuck. You have those type of people just like, I don't mind going to jail and knock you out to make a point. Like you got those type of people.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
So it might be like a room full of us. Half of us might do it. The other half's like, well, he already did. He's stomping them out. Let me go ahead and call the cops to get the dude out of here. Or let me just go ahead and let that person stomp him out a little bit more, and then we all could throw him out. You're just gonna have people like that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It just internet, man. Internet.
Yeah, it's getting weird.
Yeah.
Great. Imagine what she's really asking here. She wants the government, right, to protect her by hurling racial slurs, of which we have laws against.
Yeah, that's not as all the stuff that I seen, the actual politics, they don't even think about us. They might look at the scope of how Myron his supporters is, because a lot of it's actually hitting national and hitting mainstream media, but not him himself. But nobody even think the crap she's saying. Nobody think about that. Actually, they even argued against that. Like, this is what we set the foundation for. And I don't want to make it a whole Trump situation, but just a lot of stuff in politics now that's like how we're saying this is sound goofy, and then on the politics on the others in the fence, people saying a lot of stuff they're sounding goofy. They're arguing the same type of things we're arguing to, like, oh, this is too dumb to ignore. Like, we have to speak on this. We have to address it. Like, why are you doing this when this doesn't make zero sense? Like, I don't know if you're trying to trigger us. I don't know if you're trying to gaslight us. I don't know if you think like we're that stupid, just going to like just walk past us and we don't say or speak anything on it. So it's even on that side too. They're not stuff that racist chick saying, ain't no way in hell 50 years, 100 years from now, that's not gonna get a pass for her. Like nobody's gonna sit there, a cop with some sense calling her like she just gonna stand in the street, look, I'm calling them the N-word, and they're not gonna arrest you for hate speech, or you not gonna get a pass or like I'm pressing charge on you. Like that's not gonna happen. It's just not.
Hey Lola, let me ask you a quick question. So you're a mother. So say you were at the playground and some kid, was going through your bag and took a toy. How would you handle that situation? What would you do?
I would have said, boy, get that shit back right now. And if he would have ran, I would have looked for his mother, who he there with. But honestly, right, you can kind of pick up on autism. Well, at least when you're a parent, you can pick up on autism kind of fast, because most kids, when you raise your voice at them a certain way, they respond a certain way, right? And But however, autistic children, you can it's a difference. It's hard to put into words. But when you pick up on that, you definitely have to look for a parent because they are not there by themselves. And if they are, you should call CPS immediately. Fuck the bottle that they took. Okay, you should call CPS. But nah, I wouldn't have responded like that because at 5 years old, like they're like what 3 feet tall, like they're not even at your waist. Like these are really essentially babies. So if a baby takes something from you, they don't know. My son used to have a hard habit of reaching out and touching people in awkward places. Okay, when he was young, he did.
What you mean? Like he'll grab a titty or something? Shout out to him.
Yeah, he would. And all in Walmart, like an average Negro. But he got slapped up one day, right in the store. And after that last slap, he ain't happened. But see, it happened to a white chick, right? And when it happened, I immediately checked my son for that. But when I checked him, like even she was like, "Well, goddamn." But I had to. He couldn't stay in that state of mind. He was like 3. He couldn't stay in that state of mind. But because I'm a parent and I'm not like no deadbeat ass mother like her and shit, I understand how children move. So one thing I'm not going to do is let a child get me to the point where I'm hurling racial slurs because I got so much hate. I'm so tired of people thieving out my bag. I done had my whole car broken into. Okay, several times. I done had people steal stuff out of houses. I done had people steal money. Okay, and I ain't talking about no couple $100. Like, seriously. And it's like, yo, what I'm not about to do is sit here. I was at a Hispanic restaurant. I gave them my card. And then they sat and did some old screwball shit with it. You see what I'm saying? I didn't sit and start hurling racial slurs. I called the bank back, and we did what we needed to do, and that was it. And I moved on because crime is crime. Poor people do poor people shit. But the problem is the way we think about the N-word and the way they think about it is two different things. And I'm not expecting them to think like how black people think about stuff. However, all I expect from them to do is respect the fact that black people are not the government. We just dictate what you can say to us. That's not a governmental thing. If we say you can't say it, then you can't say it. Now, I know as somebody that's dealing with white supremacy problems, you can't stand the fact that even a black man is telling you, nah, you can't say a word. And if you do, I'm gonna punch you dead in your face. Or you might not work up. Like, they don't like being told what to do like that. So my thing is, yes, I'm gonna tell you, because you're white, you can't say it. That word has a history. I'm highly emotional. Don't pull the nigga out in me, okay? I don't give a fuck if you think I'm a nigga or not. Don't pull it out in me because the police ain't gonna be there when I jump on your fucking face. Like, seriously, if you think them ratchets jump on you quick for saying little stuff, imagine what I do, and I'm trained to make sure that your jaw break when I hit you.
Damn. Okay.
Like, don't fuck with me. Like, don't fuck with me with that N-word shit, okay? I mind my business. I live out in the suburbs. You see what I'm saying? I keep my head down around these Asians and shit. Like, for real. Like, don't fuck with me. Like, I'm part of the nigga class. I just sit at the front of the table, okay?
Exactly my point. It's going to be that one. It's always that one.
It is. I'm sorry. I listen.
That's what I'm saying. No, but that's a perfect example.
Harris, salute, brother.
No, but that's a perfect example. Like the whole the situation with which Jarek was asked about the Jakey guy situation. It's because like real life is actually real life. The YouTube thing, internet, like okay, great. You can debate that all you want to. When you put that in actual real life situation, you is not with a straight face gonna be walking up to somebody and just do that. You just not. And your height, your size, they might think you. They might in the optics, oh, Lola not a threat. But the moment you mess with somebody like that, you just don't know. You just don't know.
Oh, listen. Imagine myself beating the brakes off that girl. I imagine myself.
And when it's done, you got the rest of us looking across the street, just like, I'm not getting involved with that. He deserved that. And just let the chips fall where they may. Now, that person might get lucky, see, because guess what might happen? He might say that while you in a parking lot, because guess what? Ain't nobody really just around to even break that shit up. So now there's even an open free for all of an ass whooping. Oh, let me get in there on too. He said, what? Okay. Then you got more people that don't even give a crap. You just have situations like that. We seen situations where for example, I seen one where girl ran her mouth, said something out of pocket, ate McDonald's, grabbed and scooped up. This still happens today.
But Great Pill, how in the world when they was reporting on this, the guy holding the camera, why the news channel had to indicate that he had a background in abuse? Like he'd been charged with some sort of crime in his past. Like the camera guy, I seen that live on television. They was like, just for our audience information, the warning that the camera guy does have a past. And I'm like, what the fuck the camera guy do?
Yeah.
Narrative, you ain't know? You gotta put that narrative. It was a gun show I was watching where guys was making plastic design guns, the real ones, and then they was talking to everybody else, and that one guy, he did it so quick, 30 seconds, like, oh, here's some extra information we didn't know. Fun fact, he was a sex offender, pedo, blah 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 blah. And then the comments like, how did you just go past that out of nowhere and just gloss over it? People just do that. Just do that.
I was so shocked. I was like, not the news blaming the camera guy.
Yeah, it's just crazy because, like I was saying in the beginning, just growing up, because we all grow up in like Northeast, so it's a little more I say diverse with cultures. But man, I knew, like I was saying, like you have the Italian neighborhoods and everybody understood these boundaries. You'll see, like I said, wise guys. Man, I knew this one cat. He used to hang around with us. Man, was a Westie, like Irish cat, and he'll come around. He'll be rapping something and he wouldn't even say the N-word. And this dude got like caught up for like blowing up stuff. And he even knew the boundaries on words. And this was like a solidified tough guy. You know what I'm saying? And you see, like I said, wise guys that would know not to use that in like certain areas. And, people wouldn't disrespect their culture. So it's funny when you see like internet people that tried to play that tough role. And it's just like, man, real tough people don't even like spew these words, maybe behind doors and stuff, but
yeah. And wise guys had suits on, so that's what I'm saying. You mess around and find out. You don't know who you're messing with until you know. So that's why we can get triggered like, oh man, this sucks to have people saying that, the Jakeys, the Myrons, and all these people saying the stuff they're saying. Just clap back, just correct them. Like, yo, I'm talking to you directly. I don't agree with you. This is why, blah blah. Hit the facts and keep it pushing. And if people rock with you with the conversation, they rock with you. But in reality, just make it known, like in reality, same thing like Fatty said with that whole moment. And honestly, I don't know if he did. I would have clipped all that up and just threw it out in shorts, tagged them all the damn day. Like, you would not do the things you do. And here's some examples, because real life is very different than internet life. It just is. I can sit on my keyboard, talk about all y'all in the chat, talk about all y'all on the panel 24/7, but my life like sucks. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Or I got some deeper issues with myself. And this just spews it with everybody on this panel right here. Everybody on that panel got issues.
Well, no, he he literally said that everybody is racist and i.e. everybody has preferences, right? So I felt, and this is just me, right? The fact that you got somebody who
It sounds like you're breaking up, or is it me?
Yeah,
like that was the craziest part. I'm like, that's how I know you're not from America for real. Because you literally sat here and denied almost 400 years of slavery as white people's that's just our preference. Like, we just got preferences. Like, we got whole.
But again, but again, you said it yourself when you called. You said, "Hey, he's not the quote of lesser term. He's not one of us." So it's okay for him to say something like that. It's okay for that Jakey guy to make the comment he said. It's okay for Fresh, because a lot of people just on that way in the fence. And when they come over here, like, hey, I'm gonna do for me, it's everybody else. But they know, just like we know, the moment you come over here, whether you can be Jamaican, Haitian, whatever, we know who you are. But the moment you come here, you just answer N-I-G-G-E-R, just like the rest of us. You don't have to get down with the rest of us, but just understand the rules and regulations when you come over this pond. That's it. But if you still want to be on that type of ignorance, whatever, great, that's fine.
But I mean, he's down there in Miami, man. Isn't that kind of risky for him? I'm like, man.
That's why you see this room, bro. I promise you, if you saw him back in the day, he barely came out his door. If he come out his door now, he with like a group of people. He's going like from point A to point B, and when he get to point A, he's like in housing, or he stay. If he's a little bit public, he's staying like a public, or staying like a lengthy amount of time. People that used to expose him all the time, they knew where he hang out, where he eat. It was so wild. Like, he used to do the dumbest stuff. Even when the Yandere kicked in his door, that was like the first wake up moment from him when he pulled out that Beretta, and he would not step out the door. It's like, yo, this is a fight. All this stuff he's talking now, he wasn't talking that like he was doing now, even on the keyboards, because people was really pulling up on him.
Damn. Okay, man.
Yeah, I saw. Man, I gotta find that clip. Yeah, because when that dude came to the door, boy, that was straight fear. yeah, them boys nervous.
Yeah, playing with his money, and that was the issue. Wasn't like he lied. He was like, "You lying on me, saying I owe money to other people when this is your thing. I don't owe these people money. You do." That was the whole issue. It was over money, and he put his name involved in it, and his supporters called him up for money. He's like, "No," he said, "This is what A, B, C." Then he had to get a whole other dude that worked with him. They both had to like tell the truth, like, this is what happened. And the dude was still lying, a whole 5 hour, 6 hour long video, just lying. Like, come on, man. He's a punk in real life. I don't care how tall he is. I don't care how much weights he does. Like, he's a straight punk in real life. But now he want to fight other people because now he's in his comfortable moment. Like, no.
No, can we talk about his man weave?
His who?
Can we talk about his man weave though? Because he talked all that shit, and he still talks shit about black people, specifically black women, and our hair. Meanwhile, that hairline y'all see ain't even his real hairline.
Well, he lied about it in the beginning. First, he was like he wasn't bald. Then he was like, "Yeah, y'all women upset me. I'm getting receding hairline." Then he got the hairpiece. Everybody caught it and taking pictures, screenshots. He lied about it, said he didn't have it. Then now he admitted it, had a whole conversation. He's like, yeah, man, see, this is what I did, and da-da-da. So, like I said, it's always left and right, up, down. It's just like, you see it, call it out, and just keep it moving.
Shout out to the man wig. Yeah,
shout out to the man wig, because he's still going to lie. Like, he'll admit it. I'm telling you, if you pop up, he'll bring it up again. The next day, he'll switch it up again. If a new thing come up about him, he'll deny it. And then, like, 3 months later, he'll bring it up again like it never happened.
But you know what, Greg, and everybody, I think we no longer as black people need to keep speaking out against foreigners that come here and think that they're above us because they've been watching international television and they've been told there's crime in the ghetto, as if there's not crime in a trailer park and every other ghetto in the world, right? Especially their own. Like, yeah, we need more white people to speak to these people. Like, we don't need to say shit. We need more white people speaking up about white people and what the fuck they got going on.
Yeah, then I don't think we got a lot, but I think we have some. Like, one of my homegirls, like, this is my last, and I'll give an example, right? My last place I was living at, I call this the old man nosy. So he's an old nosy old man under me, right? That was living under me. All he do, every time I turn around, he's just there. And my neighbor on my right, she's cool people. She's a car salesman. She had got me my jelly like years back. So she heard something that was going on, that another neighbor was calling him the N-word. So she got up and spoke on it. Now I'm on the other side of the apartment building because like the sound travels. So if I'm in the back, I can't hear the front. If I'm in the front, I can't hear the back. So she had text and come like, hey, that happened. So now I'm like testing her, like, what did you say? If you saw it, you was there, what did you do? She's like, oh, I stepped outside, I spoke on it, and I kept talking to her like, you can't do that. He's an elder, and all the morals conversation. I was okay, then that's it. I was like, do you feel like you need to put hands? She's like, no, I'm not about the violence. I was okay. I said, did she come and approach him and like get in his little personal space? She's like, no. I said, so if she did that, then what you did? She's like, I had to call the cops. I said, okay. That's all you could have done on your end. And I say, do you need to speak to the manager or something? Like, I don't know what further else I need to, like, I don't know if she's getting a co-sign from, I don't know. But we have out there to speak, but I don't know. I'd rather have an ally. If you see it, my issue with everybody on the whole race, if you see it, just speak up on it. Don't play dumb like you never saw it.
All right, I gotta play this video that Jerk sent us. This is the video when Myron's ex-homeboy came in and bust the door and Myron was shitting on his pants. So fair use anyway. So let's go ahead and
angles on this, okay? So there's like 2 videos. Go ahead, play it. There's angles.
All right, let me play it then. Hold on. Oh, let me expand it if I can. All right, cool. Not that much.
Right angle. All right, good. Right angle.
Yo, I'm on.
Yes.
Come outside, my nigga. Come outside, my nigga. Come outside, my nigga.
It's 100% clear that Myron Gaines lied. This guy never kicked down the door. We could all see that the door was never kicked down. So Myron Gaines lied on the podcast.
What was that, Gray Pill?
It's the right video. Good stuff. Because he does a whole breakdown.
That's
let me see.
Cool.
That's a big boy though, man. he showed up like he was delivering pizzas up there or something.
But wait, I didn't see Myron's face though.
Yeah, let me see.
Can you guys send me a video like of a different angle when we see?
Yeah, let me see. Myron was like, hell nah, my man.
He pulled it too. That crap was crazy.
In the meantime, while I wait for you guys to send the link, I'm gonna play it one more time because it was funny.
Yo, I'm on. Come outside, my nigga. Come outside, my nigga. Come outside, my nigga.
It's 100% clear that Myron Gaines lied. This guy never kicked down the door. We could all see that the door was never kicked down. So Myron Gaines lied on the podcast.
Man, listen, who the hell is the commentator right there? Nobody care about him kicking the door in, y'all. The fact that he opened it so easily and this dude got his door unlocked is the real problem.
Right.
He wasn't there for all that now. He wasn't there for all that, Lord. So he needed to do that. Myron was lying his ass off left or right back then. every time something happened, he like, because when that moment happened, after that, there was girls there. I'm gonna find the video. It was a white girl there. He got her to lie the whole time on that stream, like, oh, I saw this, I saw that. That's why around that time, all of us need to do those videos to debunk everything Fresh and Fit was saying, because back then it was we got the receipts. Now we're like, okay, we're countering showing receipts. The only thing Myron was 100% right on is when the girl lied. She lied and said Myron, she has a baby by Myron. That's the only thing.
Okay.
So these videos needed to be done back then because Myron could not.
Somebody had 2 cameras going, one on the inside, one on the outside. This shouldn't have staged.
Now that was the one. They did kick out cams, right? So because of Yande was one of the guys. He was the guy that always had girls. He was bringing the girls and promote them. So he never really wanted to be on the camera. He wanted to bring the girls, get a check for the girls, and then walk out and leave. And then from there, he was like, oh, just do like a kick out cam because that'd be viral too. Because when you kick this girl out, that'd be the whole thing. So that's when they started nicknaming Myron the Punisher, because he'll kick him off and they'll make him like the quote unquote good guy / bad guy, the Punisher, because he kicked these girls off. Then they had like a whole kick out cam. So a moment now, Myron made it a whole. Now here's the gender war thing, Lola. So it became of, hey, you see, you guys, you have to have all this stuff going on because these bitches could lie. If you do this third, the women could do this and they do that. You need to have all these cameras. So now that was his thing. Was he right about that? He was legally right to do so, but he did it in a way to make women look stupid. So he'll kick you off trigger you, argue with you, and you say, well, get the fuck out of here, dude. And then once he say that, you already, the majority of women, 80% are in their feelings, instead of just getting up and leave, they'll mumble stuff, want to fight him, want to hit him, whatever. So now you'll see Fresh whip out his phone, the new guy, the fat dude, pick out his phone. They got cameras everywhere, and they'll just have their phone in your face like the little star girls. They'll have their phones all in your face, and then the main girl, Icy, she'll come in and try to escort you out. The next thing you know, Icy like you, then she just start fighting too. And it's like, we got the phone, we saw everything, we got the phone. And then he'll still like follow the girls out and still talking shit to them as they're coming out. Or if they ain't moving fast enough, he'll still call them bitches and hoes. Like, it was a whole thing. So on the side we're looking at now, they got phones and cameras looking at Allende. Allende knew this, so Allende's like, yo, you hold the phone. The dude wasn't gonna do anything. You hold the phone, let me show you, boom, open the door and go in.
Okay.
Whole thing.
Okay.
All right, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and play the video real quick. All right.
My man got a New York hat on and Tim's.
You're a clout chasing bum, bro. You're a clout chasing bum. Because you run in your mouth and I check you, chasing bum. You ain't checking nobody. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Ain't nobody scared of you. You're a bum. You're broke. Look at you. What you got? You're committing a crime right now. You're a bum, bro. You're a bum. You know what? You're a fucking bum. It's worth it to prove to the world that you ain't nothing. All right. No one is scared of you.
Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on. I see a problem. Wait a minute, hold on. Y'all already know what I'm about to say. Let me say this, right? Y'all just show a camera where he stepped all the way in the apartment. Then the camera is showing him talking as if he never stepped in there. It's like we looking at it simultaneously. How is it that one camera shows him going all the way in the living room, and on this one he didn't even come in the apartment? Something ain't right about this story right here.
I think he probably stepped out because he was like, okay, you know, when they was like, you're doing something illegal, he was like, let me step back, but come in this hallway.
Man, listen.
But I think this is the full.
He ain't want the action with the brother with the Timbs. He ain't want the action.
Nah, he ain't want that part. He was like, hey, homeboy kind of big. Let me
Now watch his hands. Watch his hands. No, go back.
The funny one too is when Tommy Sotomayor got hit with that girl and they was fighting. That was
I
funny.
interviewed her. Miss Cheeks.
Great.
That was funny.
Oh no, let me see his face. Let me see his face, responses, shit. Oh no.
But you can play this M3. Like,
all right, for sure.
Right now.
Yeah, what's your issue then?
I told him to continue, and guess what he said? We're not going to continue.
It's not.
That was his problem.
Yeah.
That was his choice not to continue.
Yeah, there was no
because you got triggered, baby.
Uh-oh. Look at his
What's
hand.
going on in here?
Oh, what?
Go straight for the strap.
What's going on?
What the heck?
Uh-oh.
All right, guys.
What's up?
Oh, Ionde?
Guys, this is really bad.
This is really bad. Uh-oh, wait.
Rush is like, get him, Myron.
All right, reporting live. We don't know what's going on. Does anyone want me to tell you what's going on? Because me and homegirl here in the red, orange, we're going to tell you what's going on. What's going on, girl?
Hey.
We live.
Going on in here. It's a live session, bro. They took the mic off.
She was like, why are you calling me?
Okay, now they see the gun. Now it's real. Look at him. Look at him.
Oh my God!
You're literally saying, yo, you're committing a crime right now, bro. You're committing a crime right now. Look, you got a rapist.
All this motherfucking talk you put here, that shit can be a bitch.
Come on in, man. Come on in. You got a gun? Come on in, bro. I'm afraid of the gun. Okay.
All right, you afraid of the gun? There you go.
So,
Look at see right there on his right.
don't do it, bro. What's up? Don't do it, man.
You're only a pussy nigga.
Don't
Scroll
do it.
back a little bit. You'll
Don't
see
do
right
it.
there.
Don't come in here, bro.
I wish a motherfucker would come to my door.
Don't come.
I wish a nigga would come to my door.
If you walk in, it's gonna be a problem.
That's right. Record it, fresh. So now we know.
Yep.
Now we know Myron Gaines is a fucking bitch ass nigga.
We're doing a show, bro.
So step the fuck outside, you a pussy ass nigga.
Come on in.
Who's running your fucking mouth, right?
Come on in, bro.
What you want me to come in?
Come on in.
Because you's a fucking pussy snitch.
Okay, exactly.
You're a police calling ass pussy ass snitch ass nigga.
That's why you're coming in.
The world knows.
Don't do it, man.
The world knows.
Allende.
I'm a creep. You ain't gotta worry about the
Yep. You're literally trying. Yo, you're committing a crime right now, bro. You're committing a crime right now, bro.
You got a rapist talk about crimes.
Oh shit.
You got a rapist talk about crimes.
Look at this guy, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I wish a motherfucker would come to my door. I wish a motherfucker would come to my door. Myron, you's a bitch and we all know.
Come on in, man. Come on in, then.
You got a gun?
Come on in, bro.
I'm afraid of a gun, nigga.
Okay, come on in.
Pussy niggas need a gun for a nigga that ain't
Come
got
on in, then.
Remember that.
Come on in.
Only a bitch need a gun.
You're trying to break into a man's house, bro.
I tell all my women.
You're literally about to break into a man's house, bro.
Right?
You're literally
No,
breaking
he's
into a
not
man's house.
breaking into your house.
So you come break me, bitch.
You can't open the door, bro.
So come kick me out, nigga. You kick bitches out, kick me out, nigga.
You ain't inside, bro.
That's right, kick
You
him
ain't
out. Inside, come kick me out.
Nope.
Yo, fucking pussy.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, but guess what?
Yo,
Don't
no
worry
one's scared
about
of you, bro.
Don't worry about it.
No one's scared of you.
Yo, I don't even need to pound you, nigga.
Nope.
No, you soft.
Okay. Yep.
With the gun in his
Nigga,
hand
crime.
talking.
Look at you. Look at you. Yo, Fresh, get away from this nigga, man. This nigga gonna ruin your life, dog.
Uh-huh.
Real shit, Fresh. Get away from this nigga. This nigga gonna pull you down, nigga. You better than this, bro. Chris, all y'all niggas is better than this.
Uh-huh.
All y'all niggas is better
Why
than
you
this.
come to his house, bro?
Why'd you
Yo,
come to my house,
Fresh,
bro? You better than this.
Why you come to my house,
You understand what I'm saying? Because you's a bitch. You been
Oh,
running,
okay.
You been
Yep.
running and avoiding me, nigga, so I brought it to you.
Bro, no
You
one is
don't
scared
want
of you. No one is scared of you.
Nigga, you're
You're
a
a clout
clout
chaser. You're a clout chasing bum, bro.
Clout chasing,
You're a
nigga.
clout chasing bum.
Because you run in your mouth and I
You're a
check
clout
you, makes
chasing
me a
bum.
clout chaser.
You ain't checking nobody.
Nigga, everything about
Get
you
the
is
fuck
chasing
out of here,
clout.
bro.
We
Ain't nobody
don't
scared of
know
you.
that.
You're
What
broke.
you
You're
got?
broke. Look at you.
What you got?
You're committing a crime right now. You're a bum, bro. You're a bum.
And you know what? It is
You're a
worth it.
fucking
It's
bum.
worth it. It's worth it to prove to the world
Okay.
that you ain't nothing.
All right, step
but a
aside and let's see you prove to the
pussy.
world.
I already did.
Step
nigga.
aside, prove to the
Stop
world.
trying to incriminate me.
Step
Come get
aside.
this ass whooped.
Step aside.
But
bro.
I
You
don't
already
know
broke
you.
in. You already broke in.
Exactly.
You
So
defend
defend
your
your
house. You okay? Come on in.
house.
Come on in. It's gonna be the last time you live. Come on in right
Last
now.
time I lived.
Yep.
You
Come
in
in
my
right
life.
now, bro. You come in right now. Come in right now, bro.
Yeah.
You come in right now. You threatening my life right now.
All y'all
You
see how
threatening
much
my
of
life
a
right now.
coward. Y'all see how much of a coward this motherfucker
Exactly.
is. He won't even
Exactly.
defend his home.
Exactly.
He won't even defend
You
his
ain't coming in though.
home.
Are you?
Yo,
You ain't coming in, are you?
Yo, Myron.
You ain't coming in,
I
are
already
you?
came in several times.
Fuck outta here,
You
bro.
can't win this with your lying ass tongue.
Yeah.
You can't win this with your lying ass tongue.
You not even coming in because you already know.
Oh,
You doing this for the internet, bro.
Shut up, Fresh.
You're doing this for the internet.
Ain't nobody said it was
Ain't
going on the
nobody said
internet.
nothing to you. I
You
said
know
no.
that pussy on the
It
internet.
is what it is.
You know
You're a
what?
loser, bro.
You know what?
We documented this for my protection.
I should put it on the internet.
Yeah, put it. Put it.
So you know what I'm saying for your hallway?
Put it on the internet.
You the one with a gun.
You're committing a
You the
crime.
one with a gun and you scared to come in your own hallway. Fresh, get away from this dude, bro. You better than this, man. You don't need this motherfucker.
I don't know why you're doing this, bro.
Fresh, you better than this, bro.
You're better than this too.
Fresh, you better. I know I am. You brought me down to this level, but this is what it takes to show. This is what it takes to
As
show.
a man, this level is too far.
Fresh, how many times did I invite this motherfucker to
As a
come and see me?
man, this
How many
level
times
is
did
too
I invite this
far.
motherfucker to come and see me?
I got it. Can I say something?
Sex, please say something, Mom. Please
Okay,
say
so
something. Please say
realistically, there's a lot of women in here.
Y'all got
She's a hoe too.
So we don't need to let us get a
She's a hoe
mic.
too.
Not because you were recording a rapist. What are you talking about?
Oh, what? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, this
Can I go get the
Chris, you better than this too, bro.
Let me go get
You don't need this
the
motherfucker.
Come on, whoever want to leave can leave.
I got beat up with my fucking father and my brother on one day. I'm gonna fuck
Hey, we'll talk to y'all
Yeah,
soon.
yeah.
First my first day.
Have a great night, because
Dumb ass, weak ass.
it's on this side, my love.
Yeah.
Soft. Look at me like on the police like a fucking yo, Fresh.
Spray that whole
This nigga, man. Yo, Chris. Chris, get from around this nigga, man. You better.
Marvin, yo,
Myron, it's done.
Hey, ain't nobody scared of you, bro. Ain't nobody scared of you. You just committed a crime, you talking shit, making accusations.
I just wanted to let you know, man.
No, you're a clout chaser, bro.
I'm
You're a
not
clout
chasing,
chaser.
bro. I asked you to
You
fight
came
me.
to my house,
I
bro.
asked you to fight
You
me.
came to my house, bro.
You talking about
Yo,
clout chasing?
you came to my house.
Public, bitch.
You're fucking, you're a loser, bro. You're a loser. You're a fucking bum ass loser with your free time. Bum ass nigga. He showed up with his homeboy, bro. Like what?
He just started recording. He wasn't even on shit.
Yeah, he's
got
recording.
really fat.
So basically, he came to the studio. Holy shit! Right? He knows the address.
Yep.
Broke the door in.
He showed up. Yeah.
And
Open the door.
Yeah. Look.
I
All
guess-
it was is put on
He
camera.
was ready to drag me on the floor, pull me everywhere. So I said, I don't care.
Oh. and then he's living on with the girl right now. So
Are we
you
back
want to
on?
walk down? No,
We ended it?
We ended it. You want to walk downstairs or what's up? With the girls or what? Because I don't want to leave them with the girls.
We can wait. We can wait like 15. We're good.
Are you good?
Everyone keep their cool. Do your composure.
He didn't come inside though.
Nah, he didn't.
No,
He came by the door.
Of
But
course,
he came inside.
He knew better, bro. He knew
Yeah,
better. He didn't
yeah.
want to inside.
So he broke in the door while we were broadcasting live to act tough to come outside. I mean,
No.
What?
That's not what happened.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It was a stir fry goofy, man. All right, guys. Look, I gotta wrap this up because I gotta do some work.
No problem.
Damn, this was a hell of a stream, though. I definitely enjoyed my time. Thank you, Great Pill, Lola, Mr. Best, Jerk. You know, thank you guys for everyone's like participation and their opinions on this hot mess.
You can't leave yet, man. We hype right now, yo. We hype. We hype. right.
But all good things to come to an end once in a while, though. But this is why we have Talks of Tuesdays, man. Where the toxicity gets higher, though. But god damn, Myron is just a fucking. Can I say? No, I'm gonna say raccoon. Okay, I'm gonna be conservative. He's a fucking raccoon, man. And honestly, I don't know what's wrong with this guy, man. But anyways, man, I don't want to go hard on him.
It's just clout, man. Like I said,
like
people are addicted to it, man, and I think they feel like they got to jump in everything and shit on everybody, and it's crazy, man. I can't even explain it, but yeah,
Hey, well,
that's all it is.
Well, look, man, y'all have the permission, man, to put me in my place, man, if I, get strung out on clout, man. So that's
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Great Pill good turn up.
Right. But anyways, guys, thank you for tuning into Knowledge and Relationships like Talks of Tuesdays. And we'll be back with some more toxicity. Best believe that. But anyways, your boy got to go ahead and get to work. So thank you again. And we are definitely out. But go ahead.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.
I'll be in the back for a few minutes.
Knowledge and relationships.